said like 4 things that are definitely going to get you shadow banned that are not offensive even, but they're things that you shouldn't bring up, like around COVID.
Right.
And even now on Zuckerberg's platforms that you're not going to be. But why is shadow banning a thing? How is that? How did anyone using a piece of shit go along with the idea that we don't have to tell you what you did, and we're not going to tell you what we're doing to you, and that's our right to do that? Okay.
Well, not only that, but they're all agreeing that they're going to do something to throttle the opinions of people that have problematic opinions in their eyes, but it's not illegal.
How's it working out for you?
So it doesn't violate any of the customer, any of the agreements that you signed.
Well, you signed away all your rights to everything already, so go fuck yourself. But how's that work? You can do all that goofy shit you want, but Malice is right, man. White pill thing, the shit collapses under its weight, because you can only go so long telling people to ignore reality. You know, the Soviet Union collapsed from everybody. Like, we're getting to the stage now where people go, we all know it's a scam. And the next stage after that is like, wait, why am I saying we all know it's a scam about all the things? It's not too far. Next lockdown, we lock people down, they got nothing to do but look into shit. That's why a lot of prisoners know like more current events than Bill Maher. Like people that have been down for 20 years. Because there's nothing to do but read and learn things if you're smart. So they did all of society. So some people, and they said, don't do your own research, which is such a don't go into Daddy's forbidden closet of mystery. Oh, okay, I won't. Don't look into Hillary's.
That's a hilarious one, to infantilize people to the point where you're telling them, don't research things.
Yeah.
We'll handle that. We're the professionals. Meanwhile, we lie all the time.
They're doing to us what they did to Haiti. Yeah. And the shit we do to other countries, they're going to do to you. So the shit we did to Haiti, which is never let them have their own leaders and coup them when they had one elected one, that's us now. Now that's us. We're going to pass the laws so you can't vote for the guy you want. Why is he even being allowed to run at all if it's such a fascism is coming? I don't even understand the messages are so mixed. And the only way to believe them is to be highly frightened all the time.
New York Times has just started doing this new thing on Instagram where they take the actual writers and they have the writers talk about the issues.
I'm leaving.
And when you see they don't understand what they're doing. This is exactly who we thought was writing these things. It's like this very effeminate guy and this woman that it's like this kind of woman that seems like she do at a party, like talk down to you, and it's
just who you thought.
Yeah, exactly. The type of people that would, just like these ultra liberal, out of touch people.
Yeah.
And these people are talking about. One of the guys was talking about Donald Trump's words being taken out of context, that it would be a bloodbath because he's talking about the auto industry and the economy. And then this guy starts bringing up other episodes of violent rhetoric. It's hilarious. But
yeah, guys.
But
God, what I guess.
He's on those comments and said they were an example of him calling for violence or predicting violent actions in November. His supporters said that those comments were taken out of context.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Trump has a history of using violent rhetoric dating back to his 2016 campaign. That language took on new significance after the January 6th attack on the Capitol in 2021. And throughout his third campaign for president, he's been getting a lot of attention for the way he talks about violence and retribution on the trail. He suggested that
So this is the New York Times.
It's all falling apart.
These hard-nosed reporters with a cup of coffee that are like fucking chasing down leaves, and they're pulling their hair out, and they're meeting people in back alleyways. This is Woodward and Bernstein.
Do people think that's
this
still
is Watergate? Like no, but I mean they're essentially like ultra hard left activists that are masquerading as journalists, and everything has their opinion on it.
They're also masquerading as activists. They're bourgeois twits.
Yeah.
They have a lifestyle brand, which is I'm a Sex in the City guy and gal, and I work in the paper. They do the same amount of work as when you see those, like, Dan, the life of Google. Versus
it's Twitter. Yeah,
whatever.
That video is amazing.
Yeah, and they don't even make that. Well, New York Times, that's the big time. So all the plum jobs, like it's kind of similar to when people were mad that Seinfeld, they were like demanding, why riding in vegan coffee with Seinfeld in cars isn't diverse enough.
Yeah.
And he goes, because Seinfeld, every time they bring these things up to him, I love his fucking response to that. But at a place like the New York Times, they have to go, oh, look at Brady. So all like, how exactly you put it, you could guess what they look like. All of them have moved up from like the gamer age, which at the time I was an adult and I was like, no, I don't care about this. But they've all we're moving up in the world of media. Because where's the money coming from? You gotta hope you do well enough at making little smear articles on a shitty video game website to get picked for the big leagues, and some people did.
Yeah.
And they've been moving up, and then, like me, I go, oh my god, 20 years have passed. And then I see, like, that's that little twerp, like if the one that got Shane fired actually went somewhere in life. If I thought, like, there's people like him that work with the DHS about the terrorism of, saying whatever the fuck this idiot prefers.
Well, yeah, they've become embedded in the intelligence community.
Well, it's all a thing of like your career, right? If you want your career, you can either say the truth about a thing, or you can you must not want to have a good career.
Yeah.
Oh, your career. All people have to do is not be a punk to their career. I'm not saying careers don't matter. I'm saying, I will never be a bitch to a fucking career. Like, who would do that?
Yeah, but you don't have to. See, the difference between you and a guy working in government is very stark contrast.
Oh no, in government
You're
you
a
have.
comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even comedian incentives got perverted. Like I work in government at a certain point.
Did they though?
Yeah. Well, okay.
They only did with people that sucked.
Not-
They didn't with good comics.
Okay, I don't mean like I would never say that dumb shit. Be like woke is killing comedy. No, comedy is a thing that's been around the whole time. What it'll kill is like your Disney fucking corporate figuring out how to sell it to people. Yeah, that's killing that.
Yeah, the movies.
Right, but not stand-up's the lowest rung, dude. This is the one like, oh, I see it real laugh last night. I was only telling you about people go, hey, he's a failed comic. What I think they mean
Who
is,
said that?
oh, people, it's like an insult people throw around. To who? About who? Well, the example I'm thinking of why I say this is because I sidekick on Jimmy's show, there's a bunch of people that are like hardcore blue, no matter who, that were like friends of his and mine that are like, fuck you, you're despicable. Like this unbelievable, it's your duty, like it's your duty to vote for the lesser of two evils under the 2016 shit of like the moral outrage, right? And then, but your choices are, I didn't pick the right evil for you, and you're judging me for that.
Because you didn't take a stand in the right
There's no way
direction.
there's not
That's
evil
the
though.
only way it's going to work
They
out
don't even
for
say
us.
the right. They don't say the right direction. They go the less evil direction. Like my heart's supposed to
Wait,
flow with emotion.
also, you're not supposed to stand up and say, "Hey, both of these things suck," because if you do, then you're on the wrong side.
But mine's better though. Admit that.
Yeah.
Mine thing's marginally better, and I
They
cling
always
to that
talk
like a
about that.
child.
They always want to talk about that. If you talk about Biden being corrupt, there was oh my God, in comparison to Trump, like why are we comparing him to Trump? Let's pretend Trump was never born. But Trump was never born, and it was Biden versus, fill in the blanks.
How long was Trump in government?
RFK.
How long was Trump
But
in government?
if you have just Trump, Biden versus any politician, if they were just running, and they get to pull up all this shit that he did while he was vice president, all this shit his son was involved in, all the stuff that they absolutely know, like unaccounted for millions. Where did all that money go? How did these people get all this money? Like, what would you do?
They all do that.
How much were you getting paid? Why were you getting paid so much for this university where you had a job where you never showed up? And
Yeah, right.
Anybody else that was a Democrat if Biden wasn't president, like if Obama was running against Biden, imagine a world where he wouldn't get taken down.
It was like that. He ran. Like that's who he was before he became vice president.
Well, that's who he was in 1988.
His nickname was Uncle. Uncle Joe. That's not because you're good. They call you Uncle Joe. Like,
What is
he was,
Uncle?
remember,
Creepy? Like creepy uncle?
remember Obama was like, oh, that's Uncle Joe. Because Biden was like, get a shotgun. You remember those clips that go around where he was like, really, and
that's all. That was when he was running for 2020, wasn't it?
no. When he was Obama's vice president, and he's a gaff machine. Biden would say goofy shit.
Yeah.
This
He
is
always says creepy shit.
This is when his brain worked.
Yeah.
And the way the White House was hugely embarrassed by it all the time, and the way they would do the pitch about it, like, that's Uncle Joe. But that's how they would pitch it. And then he was a joke.
So you're saying Uncle is like he's old or goofy or dumb.
Like how I'm an unmarried uncle of two.
I've never heard uncle used as a pejorative before. That's why I'm confused.
Like a crazy uncle.
Okay, crazy
Yeah.
uncle.
Is your
Just
martial arts
saying Uncle
background?
Joe. No, like Uncle Joey. We call Joey Uncle Joey. Everybody calls Ted Nugent Uncle Ted.
But when they say that's because you're thinking about it like a poor person. I know. From their their standpoint is a condescending. Oh, that's a wacky uncle.
Yeah.
That real upper class view of calling. You're talking about it like the way someone from a normal place and neighborhood thinks about family.
Yeah.
That's not how they think about it. But I think that we should even let him uncle. First of all, Trump's only been in government for how long? Biden's been in for 50 years. And we can go easily look up all the damage he did to all the people.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many undecideds and various things, because
My point about it, let's pretend Trump doesn't exist. Pretend Trump doesn't exist.
I would like to.
And then tell me, how come RFK Jr. can't get on the primary? Just tell me. If this is a real democracy, you tell me
Yeah.
why this guy, who's a Kennedy, who's an environmental attorney, who's, even though he's got this voice issue, he's extremely articulate.
Yeah.
Very good speaker.
Yeah.
Very good recall of controversial ideas, but who the fuck doesn't have controversial ideas in the world of 2024? Who doesn't have controversial ideas?
The guy
A
knows what the
robot?
fuck he's talking about when he talks. When
Right.
he talks, you can hear a guy who knows what the fuck he's
Right.
talking about.
That guy from the New York Times, in my world, has controversial ideas. I think what he's saying is controversial about, taking things out of context, talking about violent rhetoric. By the way, Biden and Obama in 2020 were both talking about who could beat each other up. Why? Because
I was
they're
thinking that too.
dumb old dudes.
I'll go
They're
behind the
dumb old
woodshed.
dudes. So, but when he's saying I like to punch him in his mouth, that's what he's talking about. And when he's saying that people should be executed for treason, well, guess what?
Don't make me like him.
Hold on. That is actually the fucking. That's what happens to you if you get tried and convicted for treason.
Yeah, right.
That's the punishment.
Yeah.
The punishment is execution.
Oh,
It's kind of always been execution.
No shit.
So,
They don't know
so
anything.
saying that that's violent rhetoric, what that guy's saying, in my mind, is like trying to look. He says bad enough things as it is. Instead of distorting what he says, which now makes me not trust you, just say what is actually going on.
Yes.
And also talk about the evidence that shows that Biden is insanely corrupt. Because both of those things are true too. And if you don't want to talk about one because you think it props up the other, you're a part of the problem. You're
I agree with you.
infantilizing the whole country and treating us like we're children.
That's right.
And we want to know, why didn't why couldn't he get in the primary?
Right.
Like, if this is real, if democracy is real, you guys don't just get to decide who runs your party against the will of the entire United States.
They're experts.
But isn't that insane that no one has a problem with that, but everyone thinks that if Trump gets into office, he's going to become a dictator?
You've been talking to De Niro again.
I don't even listen. When De Niro starts talking about Trump, I love him too much. I change
Joe,
the channel.
is he like you ever see Being There with Peter Sellers?
I think he and Trump hate each other personally. I think
Really?
that is. Yeah, I think probably. What are the odds?
He
of
seems
running-
mentally handicapped. I'm not kidding. He seems I don't know. He doesn't know about. He's on Bill Maher. Bill Maher has him on to ask him. It's crazy if Bill Maher would ask him anything. There's a National Guard in the fucking subways and shit.
Yeah.
So Bill asked him, "What do you think about it?" I don't know. I don't know about that. If there's anything I can do to help,
All
I guess.
he asking Robert De Niro about is two things:
Yeah.
awesome movies and divorce.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me what happened.
I would
to you
love to ask
with
about
the
that.
divorce. Tell me what happened if you want to talk about it. And tell me what happened to you with these awesome fucking movies. I don't need to know jack shit about his politics.
Well, he doesn't. That's the thing. He just tells you he feels a way. That's all he's got to say.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's almost unfair to have a guy like that on a
Yes.
public show and talk to him about politics.
You know what it reminds me of? When the beauty pageant contestant can't put the thing on a map, and they're making fun of her. Right? They mock her, and I'm like, is that fair to do to her? That's not her area.
Well,
Why?
they made her have a speech and she got stuck in a loop and she couldn't get out. Remember?
Oh,
She didn't know. Remember, she didn't know what to say. She's like, and then She's banned.
Women need to do more better. She's right.
She's locked up. She's locked up. But everybody's making it seem that she's locked up because she's a complete fucking total idiot. That's not.
She's in a pretty contest.
Not only, but that's not just that. Anybody can get locked up like that. You're on stage in front of people with TV cameras pointed at you. You've never experienced that in your life. If you have a panic attack, it doesn't mean you're an idiot, and that's also wrong. Wait, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about this publicly? If you're going to come out and say that you have a really deep-seated hatred for one of the two people running for president, you can't just be he's a bully, he's a piece of shit, I hate him. I think probably if you're going to express yourself about it and alienate 50% of the country, which it seems like this, you're going to have to do better than that. You should have some specific things, like he did some real estate deals with people in New York. Let me tell you what he did to fucking people.
I would love to hear it.
He did this and that. Let me tell you what he did that was fraud. He did this and that. Like, if you're supporting what New York is doing to him right now, like, guess what? You're going to shut down construction. You're going to shut down all these real estate developers who all overvalue their homes. Kevin Leary was talking. Kevin Leary from Shark Tank was talking about that.
Dude, Kevin Leary was. We played the clip of this, and he's like, yeah, but the girl wasn't dumb either. She knows he's right. They're playing a part on there. It's not that she's stupid. She goes, but isn't it? He goes, no, we won't do business here. This is
They
crazy.
cannot say anything positive about Trump, and they don't understand that by doing that, it delegitimizes everything else they say because everyone knows they're coming at the fucking news with a slanted perspective. And there's no objective news. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You have right-wing Fox, and you have left-wing everything else, and you will be fucking confused as shit if you watch both of them back to back.
I would just not watch any news for a long while because of that. Because I have a job where now I have to learn things.
It's been wild watching you. Like, there's all the years that I've known you. All the years that I've known you to watch you, like, completely slip into full-on conspiracy mode. When we first met, it was probably like, 15 years ago or something like that, maybe more.
And I would be frankly smug. I remember making fun of, what's her name? Jim Carrey's ex-wife, because she thought, her kid got autism.
Jenny McCarthy. Yeah.
And I had a joke. I'm like, it's just because he's half Canadian. It comes out like, but no, I was being glib. Just like Tom Cruise said to Matt Lauer, "You're being glib," and he's right.
I don't think that's not Jim Carrey's. That's someone else's kid.
And I was inaccurate in my mockery.
I'm pretty sure. But either way, the connection.
I should have looked into it a little.
The connection between vaccines and autism. If you just bring it up, people's hackles will get up, and they'll start getting
Don't even talk
upset
about
at
it.
you.
Yeah.
They get very upset at you, and everybody feels complicit because they vaccinate their kids, and everybody feels like they don't want to be attacked by being anti-science, and there's that pejorative that gets tossed around. Like, they hit me with so many times during the pandemic. Anti-vax.
You were right.
Dude, but not only that, it's not technically a vaccine. It was an experimental medication that had never been widespread distributed to the fucking world. It had never been done.
Yeah, right. Well, biological women have never had dicks before, but it's a world of miracles now. Now we live in a world where anything is possible. Better, easier to clean women.
Did you see that the bike rider say, well, I don't know why you could say I'm not a biological woman. I'm a woman and I'm biological. It's on my passport. It says I'm a female. Like,
That's a good.
No, you're a guy.
Touche, sir.
Yeah.
I'm biological and I'm a woman.
It's so dumb, and then whoever, Trevor Noah lets him get away with it. But whoever the fuck it is, it's one of those guys, one of the late night guys. It might not be Trevor. It could be any. It might have been Jimmy Kimmel, or no, it wasn't. It wasn't. Maybe Jimmy Fallon. Either way, no, Seth. Boy, I think it was Seth. I think it was Seth. But either way, no, you're not. You can get a woman pregnant. This is so different. Don't say you're not a biological male, because now we're talking in terms of science. If you're getting me to say that you identify as a woman, so you're a woman, you want me to call you Jill,
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that's
But if
what
you
we're doing.
want to say you are now a biological woman, that's not true. And if it says on your passport now female, someone's lying. Okay?
Yeah.
You're lying. You can say you want to be identified as a woman. Who gives a shit? But if you want to say you're a biological woman, that's nonsense.
You do.
Now you're making me deny the scientific understanding of the human body that took forever to achieve.
Is that too much to ask?
They had to figure out chromosomes. They had to figure out the X and the Y's, and they had to
yeah.
figure out
It's incredible.
all. There's so much they had to work.
All of
It is,
anthropology.
Trevor, no. Look at him fucking pretending
Oh.
to make sense. Look at the fucking guns on this savage. First of all,
Trevor,
listen to this. Listen to this.
However, there's good reason to think that there isn't, but I think it's irrelevant because we allow all kinds of competitive advantages within women's sport because who gets singled out for scrutiny is based on...
By the way, out Canadian. They're all goofy up there. It's Portland times 100 up
Support
there.
these
They
Canadians,
lost
man.
it. They lost it. Keep going with this. I want to hear the rest of it.
the fragile, weak, white woman from the rest of us.
The rest of us, you're a fucking dude.
I
You're a
think
fucking
she's better.
dude. That's not the full clip. The full clip is she goes, well, I am biological and I am a woman.
I remember
so I'm a
that,
biological woman. Like, to just sit there and let someone say that, this is the problem with television.
Yeah, someone as bright as him too to sit there and not say something.
He's playing a game. They're playing a game. You just stay within the lines. Color within the lines. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble. Well, but obviously, like, nonsense. Fucking nonsense.
Dude, I'll call you a woman just for dressing tonight. I got no problem with
I
that.
have no idea. If that's what you'd like me to do, I will do it. That's not the problem. The problem is when you try to get me to deny science and you start saying shit like I'm a biological woman, I should be able to compete with women in women's sports.
And with 80 to 100 times as much testosterone at no competitive disadvantage. And that fact has not been picked up by...
What? What was that fact? What was that again? Back that up.
Natural testosterone and performance. Between unaltered natural exogenous testosterone and sport performance. About 0.5% of elite male track and field athletes at the world championship level are below the women's average of testosterone.
That's,
Competing with men with 80 to 100 times as much testosterone at no competitive advantage. And that fact has not been picked up by the broader media landscape.
Okay, first of all, stop. Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. So here's the problem with what you're saying. First of all, there's many advantages of being biologically male. There's larger lungs, there's larger hearts, there's larger cardiovascular capacity. There's more of an ability to generate force because you have larger, stronger bodies. This idea that because guys who are cycling, who by the way, when they take their blood, let's try to understand when they're taking their blood. Because if they're taking their blood and measuring it during a fucking race, they're destroyed. Their bodies are destroyed. It's actually been argued that the Tour de France is actually safer to do on the drugs that Lance Armstrong took.
I believe
than
you.
not on the drugs. Because it's so insane.
yeah, no, I fully believe that too.
I
That's
believe
why
it
they
too.
all were doing it.
Exactly. Well, it's the only way to win. And if you took away, that was the thing about Lance Armstrong. Like, if you take away his titles, which they supposedly did, but nobody buys it now, and everybody knows. You take away his titles, you got to go to 18th place to find a guy who didn't get popped for steroids. It's a fucking
Everyone
jerk.
knows now?
It's a jerk. Yeah, everyone. No one gives a shit. Lance Armstrong can go anywhere. Nobody gives a shit.
Because I always thought that was
Notice
fucked the fuck up.
It's fucked. Okay. Males with the highest testosterone levels were significantly faster in the 20-meter and 30-meter sprint trials compared to males with lower testosterone levels. Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're lying.
You know what makes me think of that?
For them to like just sit there and let that person say that and broadcast it on television, like this isn't live. You can check that. You can stop.
Good point, dude.
Yeah, you can research that.
Yeah.
You're making a point, a very important point, saying that there's no competitive advantage for testosterone, which we all know to not be true, which is why athletes get popped taking testosterone. There's a guy from the UFC,
Doesn't work.
this guy from this one of the UFC heavyweights, he just got popped. He got suspended for 4 fucking years because they found non-endogenous, exogenous testosterone.
Oh, endogenous
is human bodies. Okay. They found they actually get it from wild yams. Yeah, it's like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, they make exogenous testosterone from wild yams.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's like a wild, I believe it's a Mexican yam. That
Yeah,
is
it
so
is.
fucking, yeah, like, that's why Mexicans have so many kids. Eating those yams and fucking up the store. And starting cartels and doing fuck that. But, yeah, so when I had Nowitzki on, who's the head of USADA, who's the guy who busted Lance Armstrong, he was saying that conceivably they might be able to get around this by developing testosterone of animal origin, like extracting testosterone from animals, which could be possible. So, but right now that's theoretical. But we know that they can find out whether the testosterone that's in your system is exogenous or not, or endogenous, based entirely on the carbon isotope profile. So they do these carbon isotope tests, and then they can find out if it's from wild yams or if it's from a human being.
The carbon makes all kinds of shit. Well, look, so
I might have butchered that, obviously, because I'm a moron, but I'm
not as
pretty
much
sure.
as that chick in that clip.
Yeah, well, that chick is a guy, but okay, and a liar who's trying to justify what they're doing, dominating a woman's sport with their goofy fucking rainbow glasses on. But they're not just cheating. What they're doing is cheating. And what he's doing is being a little fucking cheating supporter by letting this person say these lies, which he, as a fucking man, knows isn't true.
Well, this is what I find unbelievable. So she said some bullshit about, well, there's no study that shows this that. So you know all this shit about testosterone. I saw the footage of how it works out in the face. We don't have to talk about none of that.
You won. You beat everyone.
I'm watching you like Captain America running around the black guy on the track, and the second one, and you're like, whoa, how'd that guy beat that black guy that bad? Like, what? Is everybody fucking crazy?
You're just
we don't need to get
awesome.
into none of it.
You just happen to be a woman and be the best ever.
I go full force. The best move you can make is to be fully into it. And I say to Women Plus community, it's about time. Leave those losers in your way. Dude, I find it hilarious. This is what the most like thing that has made me snap. You know, over the last couple of years. This is the thing. Well, no, this thing.
This is the thing?
Not this specific thing.
You can snap it.
No, like.
You got a lot of things to make you snap.
What I mean by I mean what snap. No, I can pinpoint it. I can fucking pinpoint it.
Really?
Yeah. And by way I say snap, I mean I'm not on any side of left or right, and I'm not voting for president. I don't believe in any of it.
Right.
And I went back, my black friends in comedy in New York, although I haven't talked to Godfrey yet, I apologize to them personally for dismissing their conspiracy shit. Every black guy conspiracy that I was told that I went, like, I apologize to them.
Which one?
Oh, when I see Godfrey, I gotta tell him, because Godfrey used to come on Race Wizardry Shot, and they go, yeah, they want to put black men in a dress. And I go, nobody twisted Flip Wilson's on. And little did I understand, of course they do. They want to put everyone in a dress except women. I owe them an apology because they want everyone emasculated.
Very many white men. Way more black men. If you think about the number of
Whoever scares you the
black-
most.
Right. Put them in a dress.
That's why The Rock has to be in a future at some point.
Put Brock Lesnar in a dress. Right.
If he wants to be in the movies, he should do that.
Right.
Because you're scary. Oh, he's a nice, but not as scary.
Right.
You know?
Right. And especially these like feminine men that sound like New York Times reporters are the ones who are putting together these films. Put The Rock in it too. Get his toes done.
Yeah.
Get his toes done. Get a man in a penny.
So much of that is that, by the way. You know, that uptalk. Well, basically, it was my leg.
Here's my
advice.
This is my basic advice. When everyone's talking about anything, and they talk like this, don't listen.
Means they're not sure what they're saying is real, so they're switching their language.
Unless you're like unless you're like programmer, just like you're basically talking like, you know, people down here say y'all. You know, like if you live in Boston, you got a Boston accent. You know, that's you. Like, okay, you're just crowd.
That guy is on Twitter, he'll say y'all. Hey y'all.
Right.
Y'all. But they're not, he's not from the South.
Right.
You don't want to say guys. So
Well,
they
some
say,
guys can say y'all, whereas like
Not that one.
a straight guy who's in a football who lives in New York, they don't say y'all. Hey, y'all want to go get a
Use.
fucking pizza?
use one of the people
Yeah.
say use.
Yeah, but you don't say y'all if you're a straight guy in New York City
No.
who's like from Long Island
This is for Joe.
who wants to go get pizza. Y'all want to get pizza? Like what? Y'all.
Who the fuck are you?
You don't say
Is that
that.
appropriation?
But gay guys are allowed to appropriate Southern culture.
Well,
I've
you
yet
know,
to say y'all unironically.
if you're the fashion segment on our human setup, so of course they can. Yes,
All the ladies in my family have adopted y'all. I find it preposterous that 56 years old step in and change my vernacular.
this is exactly what I was complaining about. Is what you just said right there. You just gonna start saying y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
They like it. They like saying y'all. It's fun for them. They like the intensity, so it's cool. I don't have a problem with it, but they're also not on television. Talking about Gaza.
Oh.
Y'all need to understand that there are tunnels under all of those hospitals. Y'all need to know.
Y'all need to come up out of them tunnels, first of all.
Yeah, like, how about you tell Hamas enough? Because if you don't, that was the thing that drives me the most crazy.
What?
When people talk about, you know, well, Hamas is doing this and Hamas doing that. These people, they voted in Hamas. Like, these people are the poorest of poor, deprived of sanitation, education, proper hospital care, food. What the fuck are you talking about? How are they going to rise up? Just run out and get shot en masse until the Hamas runs out of bullets, and then you bludgeon them to death with rocks? What are you saying?
The voting for Hamas, by the way, they forced a vote there. You have to have a democratic process, and then they voted for Hamas the same way Fatah became a party. So that they voted, then they go, you voted wrong. We're putting you in a concentration camp. And so, okay, why did you have them have a vote if there was it was like vote for Trump? Trump is Hamas, you know, for like government kind of people. Trump is voted for Hamas. He wasn't listening. That's why they've been punishing us with shitty movies. Because they're like, you're Hamas. Now, I want to punishing us with shitty movies. Yeah, everybody in 2016 when they were like, we need to destroy all masculinity on this planet. All of media. Because you are Hamas, frankly, all of you.
I want to thank them for that. It's really made my movie feel like. Because it was like a bottle. It was like,
There was no,
it's like you could be a guy.
that's where the hatred is. That's where the hatred is. Yeah.
That's part of it.
You know what? Yeah.
It's so cool. It's threatening people. It's only threatening the morons.
That's right.
All different perspectives are only threatening the morons, unless those people with that different perspective are trying to control your life or trying to fucking cheat and pretend that they're a girl and dominate girl sports.
It just takes rainbow glasses, all you gotta do.
Yeah, rainbow glasses and you're in.
I still believe you because you have
Your jacked arms. How much can that dude deadlift? That dude looks like a house. Does that dude still have a dick? That's what I want to know. Which is the most crazy.
I hope so,
That
because
is the most crazy one, that they can have sex with women and
His
claim
girl
they're a
did?
woman.
his girl did.
His penis. And then go into the locker rooms and
Yeah.
wave that dick around everybody's face, and everybody's
What's the
fine with
problem?
it. It's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm more than fine with it.
Bro, I had no idea this was even going down until I criticized that fighter, that Fallon Fox fighter, that fought twice without telling women that she was trans.
It's like a dating.
Twice.
It's like how on a dating service you're not supposed to say, you're like, you tell me, dude, it's the same. Yeah.
I saw comics arguing that. Yeah, you should have. What the fuck are you saying? You should have to tell people you owe taxes. You should have to tell people everything. You should have to tell people everything. If you're getting involved with a woman and you're really into her and she's really cool, and let's say you make $150 grand a year, you're doing great. You're up there, and you find out this lady is like $90,000 in debt to the IRS.
Yeah.
You're like, what? And you
Yeah.
think about getting married, you're like, yeah, I take that on?
Hey,
Why are you so in debt? What the fuck?
I feel like it's a scam. Like I got played. If I found out some shit like that. I don't think I should have to tell a woman that I'm married.
But if you're a guy and you find out that this person that you're falling in love, you're thinking about having a family with, and God, she's so cool, and then you go, oh, you have a dick? That seems like you should tell people that.
Yeah. Well, Jerry Springer tried to handle those disputes back in the day.
My favorite one is there's this trans guy with a hijab on, and says, people are saying, why you're cosplaying. I am not cosplaying. Cosplaying is when you're pretending to be something you're not. I am a Muslim woman. That's why I am wearing the traditional Muslim. And then there's this like lady, this Middle Eastern lady goes, I will pay for a one trip round. First, class to you to go there. You won't need round trip because
Oh,
you're
I
not
remember
coming
that.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are
Well,
you talking
You know
about?
what it is? It's like you should have gone with more burqa. You put a full burqa.
Right. Cover the whole deal.
Because that's like an elegant, wearable pronoun with no surgery, with a full deal.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's a woman. And you're like, does she have a dick? I don't know, I'm not her husband.
Either way, at the end of the day, you're flying off a fucking roof. Like this thing. This is a game that you can only play in America. You try playing that in these countries that you support Hamas. Do you really? Okay. Yeah, we support Hamas. Go over there. Go over there with these fucking rainbow shirts on and watch what they do to you. Like, what are you fucking saying?
You go to most parts of, you saw Bruno, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he almost got beaten to death for walking around all gay in that Hasidic area. And he
Yeah.
tried to go provoke in Syria like Islamic terrorists by being Bruno, and he'd show them gay porn, and they would go, oh, John Kiriaki told the story. He was a consultant. And they'll go, oh, that's no good. They put on their glasses, these like old-ass terrorists, and he'll go extra mile to find the people that think. And they're looking, and they go, no, that's just no good. When he went to Israel, that dude never breaks character. He had to break character to tell the yeshiva students, hey, no, I'm trying to tell him, so he beat them to death. So, like, anybody trying to, look, the gay thing attached to a cause is the same as if my friend's an animator, and the animators union has declared a position on Gaza. That's to break their union to attach it has nothing to do with you. If we're queers for Palestine, I almost think it's an opposite because that's deliberately attaching something that is, don't attach a cause. BLM, we support Hamas. They were very forthcoming right in the beginning, and a bunch of dippy liberal Jews gave them money, didn't they? And they told you they like Hamas, but just now you're mad. You just now figure out because you don't listen to people. So, like, every cause, it's important. Oh, that is important. You're a gay cause. It's its own thing. They try to attach it to a thing that's not local with you, that is a bunch of people dying. That's a really important thing on its own. Yeah. But that's how people think, is you try to, like, how we do laws, you know, you put earmarks. You don't try to earmark other people's fucking rights thing with your rights.
Supporting Hamas is insane.
Well, then why do people
Supporting
do it?
Palestine. Yeah, right. That's the crazy thing that Dave Smith told me about. The fact
It's
that
not top secret.
not only that is it not top secret that people were in the streets of Israel
You're about to overthrow him.
protesting, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets for months before October 7th.
That's why I say read Israeli news. He was about to be out of office.
It shows you like how segmented all this shit is, because it used to be that woke included like any form of anti-Semitism.
You're exactly fucking right.
Right?
October 7th was when the woke ended. It's
Yeah.
October 2nd.
Yeah.
Because that's when a bunch of people found out that what Whoopi said was right. What, white on white violence, all that. Like, they're like, oh, I thought I was. Jon Stewart's a classic, like, oh, my, but we should be together. We're like, no. And they told you in BLM times, by the way, if you paid attention, but you dismissed them because you're like, you don't. I'm telling you, that was the end of it, because now a bunch of all this woke shit, you know, people go to the left, and I don't believe I think it's a puppet show. I don't think we have any real thing besides the corporation. But they would push this shit like we're all in this together, and then that's when you start seeing the Instagrams of like, I stood with immigrants because blah blah blah. I stood with BLM because, and I stood with gays, and now I stand alone because I am a Jew. You see that getting passed around?
Yeah.
And that's the moment when I knew, right there. It was like, oh, like that ABL piece of shit was shocked. You're not going to back us up all the way on this thing? We followed you on all your crazy shit. What? ABL thing with Pete? The guy from the ABL was furious on October 7th when they went on Warpath because the wokies weren't supporting Israel. The ABL supported that kind of bullshit we just watched.
Right.
They supported that.
Right.
They supported BLM.
Right.
So now this is how you repay us, by not going along with everything we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying woke died on that day. It should have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah, it's
Because, yeah.
people understand that it's just crazy now. It's
The left
just,
is pretty-
it's just tribal. It's very tribal, and it's like even in the right. Like, look what's going on with Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Dude, like, what did she say? I want to know what she was fired for. Because was it criticism of Israel? Was it, I mean, did she show that Edward Snowden video that he put up on Twitter that shows them maybe drone bombing those kids that are, those men, I should say unarmed people that were walking towards the rubble that clearly weren't causing any danger to anybody?
Yeah,
They
right.
just bombed them.
Yeah, no, it should be it's just like for Biden or whoever you like, it's just a cover up for them.
But the whole thing is like they're always saying they're only targeting Hamas and everybody else is casualties. Well, if those guys are just unarmed civilians and they're walking alone, that's what they hear. Dresden, and you just blast them from the sky with robots.
This is the tragedy of war.
Yeah, this is insane. And no one knows what to think now because if you can't talk about that, if you can't say that's real, then you're saying that genocide is okay as long as we're doing it. And that is what we're saying. And you're saying that from the perspective of someone who literally went through the Holocaust, or your people, your tribe, went through the fucking Holocaust. Now you're willing to do it?
I hope the irony's not lost on you.
It's so nuts. It's so hard to imagine that someone where a culture, like a country was like officially founded, what, 47? 48? Okay, officially founded. So that's so recent. And you guys are willing to do what was done to you that led you to believe that you need to start your own country? You're willing to do that at least in a small scale in Gaza. Like, there's nothing left. If you see the videos, let's see some recent footage of Gaza. Because have they stopped bombing? I know people are calling for a ceasefire. Well, you know what I think is going to help? In San Francisco, the city council all got together with masks on and they voted on a ceasefire. And then they all announced, yes, they won. The ceasefire passed. The ceasefire passed, which is really important. And when it passed, there were all these fucking freaks with blue hair all dancing around with masks on. Please show that, because it's one of the most wonderful things on the internet. These people are swimming in a sea of human shit with needles flying by like logs on a raging river.
With the wrong kind of mask on.
Everyone's in a tent. Robberies are out of control. The fucking stores have all moved out of your town. And what'd you vote on? You vote on a ceasefire in Gaza. You gotta see it though. You gotta see it. Watch. Okay, it's so preposterous it must be readily available. Unless the Google is trying to hide the truth.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of how our own government, instead of fixing any of this, just gave all our money to Ukraine. It's very similar. The concern for somewhere else that's not your immediate area, you should probably, clean your room, like George Peterson says.
Yeah.
America, the Penn State, how about we clean our room?
How about you clean the fucking rubbish?
There's people all over the fucking floor, like,
Well, how about when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco?
Oh my God. Can he come more often?
Can you get an apartment there? Xi Jinping got a penthouse in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It would clean up the whole problem.
Hey, buddy, when you coming back?
What a baller Xi Jinping is. He can force the enemy to clean up their horrible city.
You didn't have to force it. He wanted
Look
to.
at these freaks. Look at these freaks.
Palestinian sentiments, Islamophobia, and xenophobia. Not everyone agrees with this resolution.
But people are fighting.
But look at them all dancing around. When they all have masks on. Look at these fucking crackpots.
Those are the right masks.
Yeah, the fucking K and
the face
whatever the
yarmulke?
fuck they are.
Yeah.
Look at these fucking people. They're literally insane. All of them mentally ill, wearing masks. But those liberals, they're fucking glued to the death. To the death. They're in a full-on suicide cult. They've watched the decay of their city and they like it. They're happy. Until they get personally attacked, and then they wake up. But until they get personally attacked, they are all in on equity. And look at these fucking freaks. They have the Palestinian traditional scarves on and shit.
Look at all
These people are such crackpots.
Look at all the dead eggs, and that's just the guys.
Well, how many of those guys are guys? I mean, who knows what's going on with that?
We got 3 generations for it since Big Net Gray Aliens. That's if you wonder whether it's
I wonder how many trans men become conservative. They start juicing them up with testosterone. You know what? This fucking guy it is all about this hard work. I wonder what like the political leanings of trans men are. They're coming in the videos, they're covering their faces on purpose. They don't get identified. Oh, shut the fuck up. Those people wear those goddamn things everywhere. And why kill the fun, Jamie? Why even
That's
pull
why.
that up? Why even inform me of the truth? Where it's just
People
gonna
made
hurt?
a difference. You wanna celebrate it?
I'm trying to have a biased worldview like the New York Times. Let's
Yeah.
go a different direction.
Should I cut my subscription off? I want the worldview I'm entitled to.
Listen, don't show up wearing scarves to be paid attention to and then want to cover your face, you fucking coward. That's part of the problem. Part of the problem is that everybody wants to be performative, but nobody wants to take the heat. Dude, put your fucking face out there, goddammit.
I wish-
This is nonsense. And people should know that you're a nonsense person. But they do know, because they know that San Francisco is imploding. So you know just by watching the city.
That's why they moved there. So they just like be a nonsense person.
Well, they probably been there forever. There's a lot of people that have been there forever. But then there's also like benefits to living there if you're a homeless person. They actually pay you money. They pay you money with a lot of services. Like there's a giant goddamn industry that's involved in homeless. That's one of the things that Colby on Noir uncovered on the show.
It's not Colin.
Well, his name's Colin. His real name's Colin. Yeah.
So-
Colbion. Colbion is his
Oh.
Instagram.
Oh wait a minute.
So anyway, he went to San Francisco and he was like, "What is it? A funding issue? What's going on?" He was like, "This is crazy." And one of the who was talking to him was a lawyer. He's a lawyer as well. And so when the guy was talking to him, he was saying, "No, you don't understand. It's a scam. Like there's a giant industry, and there's all these people that make hundreds of thousands a year working in the homeless department. They don't want to clean up the homeless because their jobs go away, and if they're the only people in charge of cleaning up the homeless." It's basically like those Boeing mechanics that can get those sign off on their own work. Like, oh, yes, great. I did a great job.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking blades are crying out of kindness. But that's what the whistleblower thing is all about.
No,
That's what the whistleblower was insinuating, was that they have done a horrible disservice by not having safety inspectors and instead letting the mechanics sign off on their own work. They're trying to save money, cut corners. And by doing that, he's saying it's super fucking dangerous. And he's saying all these problems that they found with planes. And then he decided that what he had done was so horrible that he needed to leave this earth.
He felt guilty for being a snitch.
Yeah, he also disparaged a great company. And definitely
My
wasn't
grandfather
killed.
worked for them.
He definitely wasn't killed.
No, well, people, a lot of suicides. Yeah, that one was a fun one, that story.
That's an important suicide. Like, if you're going to commit suicide, you definitely do it before you testify.
Well, you know, remember the guy that figured out how they were bringing crack into the head, just as the rapper said, and he shot himself twice in the head because he felt so guilty?
No, you're conflating it. You're thinking about.
Jerry Webb, no?
Oh, that's Jerry Webb. I'm talking about Michael Rupert. He's another guy.
Oh, no, yeah, well.
He was the guy that.
Okay.
But Jerry Webb did that as well. But Michael Rupert was actually a Los Angeles narcotics investigator.
And he's talking in December, that's the guy who said that. Right.
It was on CNN, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Jerry Webb. He had a quote.
Right. And Jerry Webb was shot himself in the head twice. It happens. Well, if you do it once, you probably should finish the job.
Hey, finish.
Fuck up and blow the top of your head
I
off.
like
Like,
to-
oh my god, I'm still alive.
I do a
Fuck this.
starter shot to see if I like it.
Yeah.
And then I see if I want to go all the
Wake
way.
up. 'Cause first of all, you know how hard you get knocked out and shot yourself in the head. It's not like you're just gonna like be fine.
I don't know. I
You're
would
going
never
out.
do that. Well,
Yeah.
he goes, here's a quote where he goes, I realized when he was reporting on that story, I had never reported anything important in my entire life until that. Because when that happens, when you shoot yourself twice in the head, that means you did report on a real thing. And sometimes you had no idea. Over and over I hear from people like Jay Bhattacharya, the doctor,
Yeah.
where they find something wrong and they think everyone's going to be happy they found the problem. You know, because this is important. And no, it's bad for business. Just like the homeless thing you said, that's everything.
Yeah.
Everything is incentivized to keep the thing going and not.
Yeah.
And
It's all about
yeah.
money. And that's the number one curse of culture and humanity. But it's also like the thing that makes people want to fight against it, which makes good people rise up. So you got like a bunch of factors that are happening at the same time. It probably forces more of these good people to be more good and more just. And just realize like, hey, there really is evil in the world.
You know,
There really
God's
is
angel,
corruption.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. There's real. What'd you say?
God's angel to hammer you out on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's almost like you need something. I think there's always been something that people have been battling against. There's always been evil and good, at least in some sense of it. It gets so confusing when the good does evil. to justify
Yeah.
fighting the evil. It's like, okay, well, what are you? Are you in a rush to kill Hamas where you have to kill everybody else too? Are
I bet
you in
there's
such a
truth and
rush?
lies.
Yeah.
They tell the truth, like, because good and evil. I mean, I believe in those things abstractly, but it's such a big thing to say.
Right.
And it
Depends on what side you're
there's
on.
apparently radically different views on what constitutes that. Like that poor woman who's being persecuted in sports that you attacked earlier because of your phobia.
Yeah.
That was evil.
That's evil.
You should feel ashamed that you said she can't. Look, like I said, right now it's gotten so crazy that all you gotta do is just not think about how will it might be a loose cannon by just pointing at the thing that's in front of my fucking face.
Right.
Just do that. Everybody can just start by doing that. By not, no, don't. All my friends back when
The thing is that all these DEI scores that these corporations have, there's a giant percentage of the population that's under Sauron's eye all day long.
it's called slavery.
It is kind of a form of mental slavery. It's not, you could always quit.
It's
not
credit,
real
it's a
slavery.
credit system.
But there's something about it that's so creepy. They're enforcing, for the first time in the history of our culture, they're enforcing an ideology on the masses, and they're changing our definitions of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, including men competing against women. And they've dabbled in minor attractive persons. They're dabbling in people who are two-spirit or elfkin or fucking, they're dabbling in the most extreme weird stuff. It's just to sort of like prime you and get you
Yes.
ready for furries. Furries are fine.
I will never accept them.
Well,
Never.
furries are having a good time. They're dressing up like chipmunks. I'll tell you what, when Duncan and I did a podcast as furries, I got my respect for the furry community. Because it's hard to keep those things on. I can't imagine fucking with those things on. It gets hot. And this is a cool studio, you know? Temperature's controlled.
It's so close.
Put that thing on, dude. You're a diaper furry? Shit.
That's the lowest form of fur.
The regular one's shit litter box.
No, I hunt them, so I'm going to tell you what to look for. You'll smell them coming. Now, Joe, I have a job, as you know, turning off people's smart houses for good races. So when I see it's a good thing.
Want to hear a first story?
Yeah.
So, this is a two-parter.
No, but yes.
So one, I will tell you, I know. One, we were in Pittsburgh for UFC, and we just randomly happened to get there on the day there's a furry convention. So as we are driving,
What are the odds?
okay, crazy odds. As we're driving from the airport, I'm in a rental car going, what the fuck is going on, dude? Why are there so many mascots? No,
You didn't know what furries were.
no fucking idea. No idea. So finally we get to the hotel. The hotel bar, the manager guy, explains to us there's a furry convention.
What year is
That's
this?
lucky. Quite a few years ago.
What a way to find out.
At least, I mean, it's probably in the neighborhood of 20 years ago.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And you just
So this
said-
no, the UFC popped in 2005. Was probably after that.
Any
So
diapers?
maybe no, I think I might be off. Maybe 15 years ago or 14, 15. Anyway, quite a while, at least 10 years ago, a long time ago. So I'm not that hip on furries. I didn't understand. I get there and the guy tells me that he had a request for someone to put a litter box in the. He goes, "You're first of all, he goes, you're really lucky. You guys made reservations in advance because everything is sold out because of the furry convention." And I'm like, "What?" So he explains they all want their food delivered in bowls on the floor, and these people are all furries together in this one hotel. So they're acting out. They're in the lobby together. They're all furries. Everywhere we go, there's furries.
You're sicker than Cosby.
It was fun. And I mean, they were nice. I don't care if you dress like a fucking
All the
squirrel.
bowl thing is you gotta
weird.
participate in my weird act.
Well, it's a request. You know, you put your food in the bowl, I'm paying money.
Just
You know I'm
pay
a
me.
freak.
I'll do
Put
it.
I put it on the ground.
You
I'll
get
give you
more
an
than
extra
that.
20.
Yeah.
So, but he told me that they wanted to put a litter box. One of the guys requested a litter box in the lobby so that they could piss in it. And he's like, no, you can't have a fucking litter box in the lobby. There's like sanitation issues. And he's like, dude, it's so crazy. So anyway, years go by. And I'm hanging out with a friend of mine in Utah, in the mountains, elk hunting. And he tells me that his wife is a teacher at this school, and that one of the parents had requested putting a litter box in the girl's bathroom because the girl identifies as a furry. So, or a cat or whatever. So I go, what? Are you fucking serious? So I talk about that on the podcast. And then people call bullshit. They say, there's no evidence. There's no evidence, but the attack, the amount of people that were calling bullshit was crazy. And they were angry. And it got connected to trans stuff. So somehow or another, me telling a story, my friend told me that his wife told him about this public school she worked at, where they were in Utah, where they were saying that a mother was requesting a litter box. So
casting terrorism.
So I go back to him and I say, okay, listen, man, I need to know, like, ask your wife what actually happened. So the wife didn't work at that school anymore, just because it was like a year or so ago, or maybe even more. So anyway, the wife says, what I recall was that a mother had requested that a litter box be installed in the girls' room. And I said, was a litter box ever installed? I don't think so, or I don't know. Okay, well that's it. But the idea that people wouldn't want to shit in a litter box and be dressing up like a furry, why is that so far-fetched that everyone's so angry?
Not far-fetched.
And saying that I'm pumping out misinformation. When I talked to a fucking manager of a hotel who told me, personally, he got a request to put a litter box in the lobby during the first.
This is true. That's right.
But why are they so aggressive about that one? That seems so weird. I don't care if you want to wear a fucking chipmunk outfit and have sex with each other. Have a good time. If that's what you're both into, who cares?
For the same reason.
But why is it weird if you would? Are you saying that there's no kids out there that are so mentally ill that they want to use a litter box? Because I don't
No, I'm
think
saying
you're
shut up
right.
about it. That's what I'm saying. Don't talk about it.
Right.
I'm transferring it to another parish.
But I don't think you're right. I don't think anybody would be willing to say that there's no one out there who's not mentally ill enough to want to use a litter box. Because of course there is. There's a spectrum of mental illness.
Well, I'm saying it's not mentally ill. It's fine.
I understand the depth of what, yes. Well, that's what gets really weird about the whole minor attracted person thing. They're trying to slip that in as an identity. And people say, why are you talking about this? This is not real. No, it is real. You have to understand, it seems so crazy. It seems crazy to me. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me look like a fucking real.
That's a good point.
But it is real, and there's recordings, there's video of politicians expressing how we have to recognize their identity as
I don't want
minor
to see it.
attracted person.
I won't look at it.
I've seen it, it's infuriating, and it's the same kind of people that you expect to be using those New York Times Instagram videos. when they're talking about the story they're covering, it's the same kind of people. It's cult members.
When you said you could imagine what they look like, it reminded me of like back when remember like all those famous nudes came out on fucking the Fappening, it was called.
Yes. Yes.
And so I was watching some video came on my stream on YouTube about it, and I'm looking and they're talking about, you know, they hacked and got their stuff and their communication, and then immediately the guy, like the one guy they got arrested, and he looked so much like what I imagined. He looked like an AI read my mind and drew him on the It's amazing. And the good thing is autism is apparently the biggest, is huge. And so shit like furries, and there's all these malleable people that are like, they're real smart about like making like lists and iceberg lists of shit.
Right.
But they're like two-dimensional, like Sailor Moon brain. That's why I asked you, this is old, this reference. But Chris Chan, have you not? There's Ken Burns, Doc Burns got it. That guy, or woman now, but
what are you talking about? You went in 30 different directions. What is Chris Chan? What?
It's the most documented human ever. Never heard of him, right? And then this is such an old ass reference. Like if somebody's done, you're like, yeah, I know that. Like when I first
know about Chris Chan, Jay?
Okay, so what is the story? It's too long to get it, but this I'm gonna say, you should look it up yourself right now. It's like a Gino Samuel, this guy Gibby, great documentary. He's the singularity, the thing that Ray Kurzweil would talk about of in the future when our technology and we merge and whatever.
Right.
That guy or woman, he's the fucking singularity. That's where it goes. And so all the things you're talking about,
Singularity is woke.
singularity of technology and humanity, it's like this weird autistic, always online fusion that shapes your. But you got to begin with the right clay, which is someone autistic not being raised right.
Right.
And so everything that you can watch. And at some point, someone told him that you can't. But dude, it's unbelievable. I know exactly what you're talking about. It sounds crazy. Somebody convinced him he can't be held responsible for your personal actions if you transition. Because he's doing wild shit over like Sonic's arm color being changed, like really out of control. I can't even. You gotta just leave yourself. And so now I'm just gonna cut because we ended up raping his senile mother and going to jail. Here's what's going on. It's like an inverse Jesus. Like instead of coming out of a virgin, it's a senile mother. It's the singularity. That's what it is. So they remember how they promised, oh, it's gonna be amazing, you're not gonna die. Even in Black Mirror, you'll be stored in a hard drive and live a great, your best lesbian life. No, that's not what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a slow, like, just a person who is not, they're not all there, and they can be conditioned into anything by outside influences.
Right. And here's the question: like, what contributing factors are leading to an increase in the amount of people that are autistic?
Anime.
Starbucks.
I got one word. Anime.
Like, what is it? What are the factors? How much of it is environmental? How much of it is in people having kids at an older age?
You think it's like
contribute to it?
the Michael Keaton Batman when the Joker talks and people would die laughing, and then Batman figured out it's not the makeup or the shampoo or the something, it's when you use combinations of them.
Yeah,
The
it's probably a
So
combination.
my guess it's like that.
Yeah, it's probably.
I'm not a doctor.
It's definitely probably something, but it seems like some medications seem to cause it, and no one wants to say that. And it's fucking bananas to watch people do mental gymnastics for pharmaceutical drug companies just to sort of substantiate and validate their own things.
No, I know that just looking at it. In New York, I met 3 adults, that all told me they were the first kid ever to be prescribed Prozac. 3 of them. It could be any of them. Yes, they all look like Woody Allen, even the chick.
You know who told me he was on Prozac when he was a little kid? Henry Rollins.
Really?
Yeah. He was just fucking. They had him on Prozac when he was really young. And I think they kind of cooked him. It was like Ritalin. Oh, that's right.
Oh, Ritalin.
What's
Oh,
the difference
yeah.
between Ritalin? Ritalin is more of a. You're
That's
right.
Adderall.
Thank you.
It's like
Ritalin
a-
is basically Adderall.
It's the same kind of thing.
ADHD thing.
Yeah, I think-
Prozac is your depressed, right?
That's a SSRI or something.
I don't think it's an SSRI.
It's the one
Prozac an
before.
SSRI?
It's the one before Paxil, which is not good. Yeah, I know. Give it to your kid. They can't be
Princess Leia loved Prozac so much that she wanted to be cremated and then put into an urn that's shaped like a Prozac pill.
She's being funny. That is kind of funny. That's very funny.
So selective serotonin reuptake.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So that's Prozac. That's the term. Fluoxetine. So that is Prozac. So it is an SSRI. Why does the Prozac one make people more silly? It seems to make people more silly.
It does.
Yeah, I know a few people that have been on that one. That one makes you a little like where you're like, oh, what's going on? I don't want to mention that. They get a little speedy. But the Ritalin one is like straight up speedy. That's
on it?
what wrong.
Yeah, see, the kids on it. My friend, I got a friend that in Georgia. He's a little kid, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He was put on 60 milligrams of Adderall a day as like an 8-year-old.
Oh my god.
Do you know how? I mean, that is like.
That's so hard. That seems so crazy.
Dude, the panic attacks I've had from very small amounts of Adderall. Like a little kid, I must have. And he, like, he's a real aversion to any of that kind of shit because he's like, who's the guy Johnny Depp played? He's like Whitey Bulger, where they tried out drugs on him and now he hates all drugs. I only like murder. Yeah, all this shit.
It's not about the white folks like that.
All these people were. you're gonna say extraordinary claims.
Yeah.
Extraordinary evidence. Okay, I agree. At this point, it would be extraordinary to claim that they're not lying to you all the time, and that thing you're talking about, where people don't even want to talk. Don't even talk about it. Someone asks for a litter box. Don't you know we're at war and there's a war, so we got to
No, this
overlook
was before the war stuff. This is quiet, but they were just saying I was a liar. Like, look, I didn't lie. I told a story that my friend told me, that his wife told him. I did never suspect that it was going to get the reaction that it got, though.
What do you think they look
and that
like?
it got connected to trans stuff. I think they look like Tom Sport. But it's not, it's, the thing is, it's like, that it got connected was so odd. Like, what are we saying here? We're talking about a person that thinks they're a cat. Are you allowed to do that now? Like, what are we sneaking the door in on?
James Lindsay, he's got good videos about, because I didn't go to school to learn these important concepts. And so queer theory.
Oh, I've seen these.
So he has a great thing that explains it. The whole point of it, and you could kind of tell what the deal was. Queer theory was not, it's against being gay or trans. The point of queer theory is to destroy the concept of normal expressly in it.
Right.
We're oppositional to normality. So that's why you hear like, that's heteronormative. That's why they're saying gynophiles instead of your straight. Or like, what a downgrade.
It is right out of the Orwell playbook to change the definitions, change the words. Right out of the book. And
You didn't write it as a playbook.
everyone is, but everyone's following it. But everyone is just completely pretending that doesn't exist.
Well, just important people with good jobs.
Gynophiles?
Men's health. There's a men's health article. But gynophiles second out. There's two. That and the majority of the population. Yeah.
Mental illness.
Oh, that didn't take long. That didn't take long, did it? Oh, gynosexual, and gynophile.
There he is.
And there's dispute over what it means.
Are you gynophile? Are you fucking fascist?
That's crazy.
Ew.
He's a gynophile. See his file on it?
Imagine if
I'm a
it got to
file?
a point where you weren't supposed to tell someone if you were a guy or girl. You're supposed to figure it out in the bedroom, and it was like surprise. Like, oh, it's
I hate this.
Yeah.
This is what a pussy is?
Yeah.
Looks like someone put an M80 in a cat's asshole.
Oh, that too. The fake ones. But you wouldn't have to do that if you could keep your dick. If you could keep your dick and still be 100% a woman, I think you'd have less of those surgeries.
We can.
That might be the best way to stop those surgeries. Because
Back in the
they'll
day-
stop you from orgasm.
Oh, so I know, I have two friends that had to transition. Well, back in the day, my friend named Arts did. Because everybody, what are you going to cut your dick off? And my friend was like, no, most trans do not do that because exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
It's new. This is new, where you get the bottom surgery, which I gotta warn everybody, they haven't perfected it yet. So if you want to not know some shit, you think cat litter box at school is a disturbing request to know about? Look up the maintenance of that shit, and maybe just think about keeping the dick like the classic trans way. This is an autistic thing.
Yeah.
You've had people on explaining it.
Yeah.
And so it's the form of people's sexuality. It's like that everything bullshit. It's surgery and like the ethics of plastic surgeons. Like what they did to Michael Jackson and Madonna's faces.
Yeah.
Imagine that on your kid's dick. Or their tits.
And they're not going to think your kids any differently than they think some lady who's getting their 6 nose job.
Yeah,
They
it's
don't
yes
care.
and. They input.
Yeah.
Yes and.
Oh,
Another
you
one.
need that. We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait till you go to puberty.
They got the ethics of
We don't want
veterinarians.
you going
Yeah.
to puberty. Like, we don't want...
There's no
How the
evidence.
fuck do you know? You don't even know this kid.
We'll find out.
The whole thing is so insane, and when the lawsuits start rolling in, that's like one of the things that's interesting is like New York Times started writing articles about the transition.
That's right.
And that's when it gets serious. When these people feel like they have to step up and make articles about
That's
the
running a
transition.
sinking ship.
Uh-huh.
That's the rats fleeing the
Well-
sinking ship. I never said you should do that.
Someone online, I forget who it was, commented on Twitter, this is because the trial lawyers are now getting involved.
Finally.
Yeah, but that's probably the only thing it's going to take.
Also, their kids got, like the one chick in the end times, her kids developmentally slowed from masking. And she was a big time shut up. She was a big
Yeah.
Xi Jinping about
Lena
things.
Wen? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and then she goes, oh, it affected you. Like when Dick Cheney realized that lesbianism's cool because he had a lesbian daughter. Oh,
But not only that,
Yeah.
but then she started talking about how there's real evidence that most of the people that died and that they were called COVID deaths are not from COVID.
yeah.
Yeah,
We knew that a long time ago.
But she was talking about it on CNN. They were like, she goes, I estimate the death to be about 30% of what the reported death rate is.
Like, you're supposed to have had, at this point, if you're following the science and not, 10 shots by now. Is it? It's up. It was 8 when I was making fun of this months ago, and now it's 10.
Imagine if you really updated. How many people are actually updated? I have to break on here. Their probably teeth are falling out. Fucking eyes are glowing. How many times do you have left?
Do you have track marks from vaccine?
You have like literal pink eye. You're fucking hemorrhaging inside your eyeball. How many shots, if you're current with the COVID vaccine, how many shots have you ever received? Did you start getting them in, what was it, July of 2020?
Good luck with that search.
Whatever fucking year it was. Was it 2021? When did they start rolling that?
Not soon enough.
Wasn't 2020?
You didn't need to take all that time with the testing. We'll try it.
Well, the best one was the ones that they released, the bivalent ones, where they didn't have any human testing.
Well, I guess they actually did, didn't they? In the law.
Yeah. Turns out it doesn't work at all. Not only does it not work at all, it actually works worse.
Well, good thing you can't sue. Hey, good thing you can't sue. The one drug, they're probably more honest because you can't sue.
Well, weird that you can just like lie to people and you can force people to take things and you can hide the side effects and you can't sue them. That seems, I don't want to say it seems corrupt because that seems like that'll be wrong.
You're waiting to find out about that. That's like saying that if somebody asks for a litter box at school.
Yeah, that's out of line.
Shut up.
It's out of line. It's out of line. It's out of line. There's no way they would do that. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and you keep falling for it like fucking Charlie Brown going for that football with Lucy.
I'm not smart. I'm that Charlie Brown stupid.
Yeah.
How do you still take the kick now at this point?
God damn it, you tackle Lucy.
Like, I don't...
Take her out.
What are you going to do what Allah commanded us to do?
Allah does not allow Lucy to play games with you. You're supposed to be able to beat her.
You look at her with her uncovered hair pulling a man's football away.
Allah is a sign of the fucking feminism rise. Or rather, Lucy's a sign of the feminism rise. Allah does not want that. Well, obviously, like dominating Charlie Brown, Allah would not.
I think Allah just wants balance.
For sure, but definitely wouldn't want Lucy kicking Charlie Brown's ass.
Okay, I mean, that would be...
Get the fuck out of here with that. This bitch needs to be put in her place.
what was Charlie Brown's crimes, though? It depends on your done.
Good point. Charlie Brown was an infidel.
So that might be, like, the worst punishment we have for you.
It's a woman. A woman.
A woman's gonna laugh at your dick.
It's just, I'm concerned that it seems like all this stuff is accelerating to some sort of a boiling point. Do you love it?
You wanna know why?
Why?
Because my girlfriend's like 10, 12 years younger than me, so she has like hopes and shit. Now that when the bombs hit, like, I did drugs and drank and smoked for all these healthy motherfuckers. Like, you're gonna die right with me. Oh, did you try to extend your life? We're all going together. I barely wore a condom.
That's what you're happy about? That you fucked your life up, so it's fine.
It's in fact, if it doesn't end, I'll be like, oh shit, I should have handled my life better.
Well, there's a lot of people that live like that, right? If the apocalypse never comes, like shit, all these preppers, like,
Where
God
they now,
damn, I'm gonna
dude?
spend all my time canning peaches and shit.
No, they're gonna be be nice to them because pretty soon.
Yeah, they're gonna be the only ones. They're gonna be the people that have like the ability to generate power with the sun.
Well, yeah, they figured out like 0-point energy in their backyard while you're sitting around string theories.
People don't understand, like, power's only going to be so good if society goes down because there'll be no more communication.
Right.
That's the great, like, what we're on now is we're electronically connected to everybody. So you know how to get places, you know what's going on, you know the news, you know the weather, you know the fucking highways, you got a map.
I think I do.
Yes. You just, if you have a cell phone that works, if you're in a car and you are traveling in this country, you have an incredible resource. And then all of a sudden that's gone. And you don't know where the fuck you are, and no one has a map, and no one knows how to read a map even fucking had it. And now all of a sudden, the world is a mystery again. Just like it was in the 1800s. The
Yeah.
world's a mystery. Everything over that hill is who knows. It could be hostile Indians.
I feel like it's
Who
like that.
fucking knows?
I feel like it's like that with all of the stuff. I think it's,
Yeah.
I don't. What in the fuck can you trust? Every time I find out a new thing, I'm like, I have to have like a period of PTSD time, right? To
At
digest
least
it.
there's a possibility of finding out. My point is, if all that shit goes down, it's not going to matter if you have power, because you're not going to have any communication. It's going to be gone. Everyone within one generation is going to be a fucking moron again. No one's going to have any idea of what they're going to have stories about what society used to be like.
Yeah.
And then what we have stories now from my generation of what it was like growing up with an answering machine. We had an answering machine. People would call and they'd leave a message. It was crazy. And you could call your own house and listen to the message.
And
It
a
was
pager.
wild.
Pager. What is it? The Old West.
Yeah, Joey Diaz was like pager forever. Like before, like he got a phone later than anybody.
Dude, you play give me at a show in Palm Springs. Was that like a movie theater? You know, movie theaters will have.
Yeah, like
And I'm in there, and I'm like, wow, this is like what after the apocalypse. This is what this will be used for. The place with the old movies will just be a guy. So, and then,
yeah, with a solar powered.
it felt like I was at the end, like, oh, we had the apocalypse, and this is how we're getting by.
Dude, you gotta realize, like, before Google, before internet searching, you had to take people's word for shit. You know, people would just tell you things. You'd be like, what happened? Like, imagine you with your conspiracies, but existing pre-internet. Like, you don't even know
We
what
had to buy
happened in
a
Haiti?
picture.
Do you know what we did in Haiti? Like, they're like, what this fucking first crazy.
You know what's fucking sad, dude? Like, first of all, we haven't even gotten to my conspiracies. Like, my conspiracies,
What's the big one?
my biggest one?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but-
100% believe that the Raytheon thing, that whistleblower that came out during the little peek of UFOs we had over the summer, when they were like, you know, they announced UFOs are real,
Right.
which is fucking crazy, by the way.
Right.
I know you wouldn't give a shit, or like friends would. It's not enough information. It's really annoying the amount of teasing of it. But meanwhile, the Titanic submarine imploded around the same time. Everybody knew that. People were like, oh, it's a distraction. That's horseshit for nerds. A distraction is the Titanic submarine story. We're putting a butter dick on the Bud Light can. That's a quality America distraction, okay? Like, this stuff, they got you. It's just like Haiti UFOs. You program not to
You're
care.
going all over the place. Raytheon UFO. That's what are you talking about? Raytheon.
The dude I was texting you about.
Which one?
Eric Hecker, the guy that came out in the Raytheon with the man Antarctica.
Right, you gotta tell people what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
People that are listening have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought this was just we're hanging out, not doing a show.
It's okay. I'm just trying to get
Someone's
back on
gonna
track.
clip it.
So this guy is this is the guy that was on the Sean Ryan show, right?
Yes.
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 So he's talking about how he was I guess he was a fireman out there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
He lives in Alaska.
and he's saying there's direct energy weapons.
You know about you have a lot of physicists on the show,
Mhm.
so I follow a lot of that. And so I already knew about the ice cube neutrino detector just from following science channels. Because without any of this
Let's
stuff,
listen to what he says, because it
Okay.
sounds so kooky. Are we allowed to?
The whole podcast, you're gonna find I'm looking for the clip.
Oh, that was a whole podcast? Okay. But anyway, it's interesting because I'm listening to the guy talk. Okay, but just give us a little something.
Third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. I'm functioning in the dual role capacity of a tradesman and a firefighter. My responsibility requires me to be more informed than most of my crew and also get complete access to the resources. What I learned from this unique experience is to share with my fellow brothers. Technology at South Coast Station certainly is what it is presented as its primary purpose, and unfortunately, what it is. The IQ detector is presented as a passive listening device for the purposes the science has presented. But I'm going to skip right to the chase there. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160 what they call DOMs that are embedded in the ice actually transmit at 2,047 volts. That gives us a long distance. It is effectively a ultra-fast directed energy weapon of this rapid vehicles that have used for learning that off-road craft, on-road craft, hours, other vehicles are also neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that we're discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster than light vehicles moving throughout the system, we will need faster than light communications. This is that simple. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations agents for the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had these earthquakes in Christchurch. There's 2 incidental shocks before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake-generating device as well. Weapons before they have
No. Remember Havana syndrome?
Don't neutrino. So it's a neutrino detector and a neutrino projector. Don't neutrinos just no? What is it?
It's at the extreme frequencies, so like ELF and all that shit.
Okay. So it detects neutrinos and then it projects something else. So it has a different thing it does.
It's going to be used for many applications.
So the detector detects neutrinos.
Right.
That kind of makes sense. Like, why would you give a
That's
fuck
the
about?
yeah.
But here's the question: like, why would you give a fuck to spend so much money to detect neutrinos in space? But if you say, oh, but it's UFOs and it's neutrinos, and you can eventually use them, because otherwise you have to be able to track something that instantaneously appears
Yeah.
and disappears.
Well,
Air traffic
okay.
control for UFOs makes sense.
The legit, when I watched that Ice Cube when it first came out, Nothing With Us, it was, the reason it caught my interest was, but for some reason, there's neutrinos that are coming out of the Earth and not from space. So I'll remember these little details, and every day's like goddamn Kaiser Soze, I figured out. I'm just sitting there,
Neutrinos just go right through everything.
that's right.
Yeah.
But look, I don't know how that.
When the neutrino interacts with the Antarctic ice, it creates other particles. In this event graphic, a muon was created that traveled through the detector almost at the speed of light. The pattern, the amount of light recorded by the ice cube sensors indicate the particles' direction and energy. So, I get how you'd be interested in like finding out like the rays from space and what's going on, but also if they're got a dual purpose. We actually know that this can detect whatever the fuck these things are. What do you think those things are? And what do you think that?
What's detecting?
No, UFOs. Do you think that a lot of them are ours?
Yeah,
A lot of them, right?
I'm sure a lot of them are ours.
But maybe some of them aren't.
And where will we get that technology from?
Right.
Where will we get that?
Right.
Because but the tic-tac thing is so boring, but it's a fascinating topic. Those things appearing back in the 50s, that we didn't invent that in fucking whatever they first saw, we didn't invent that back then.
The thing is, like, when you have that guy that first started calling them flying saucers because they were skipping across the sky, like,
Right.
no one
Sausage.
had that technology back then. No one had the technology to fly something at insane rates of speed, incredible maneuverability that's shaped like a disc. That didn't exist. So
Yeah.
at some point in time, it wasn't ours because we had propeller planes.
Well, yeah.
The idea that we had these weapons of war, and our weapons of war were propeller planes, and we would open up the bottom of it. It's basically like a reverse convertible, and just drop a bomb out of it. That's they could look down. You could literally, you go, "Whee!" and you would just like figure out, drop it now.
Yeah.
Whee! Boom.
We just saved a bunch of Nazis just to figure out how to get beyond that, you know? But let's say it's, they didn't find, like, let's say they did find something that wasn't us. What, do you think they'd tell you about it, or do you think they'd hide it for, I don't know, 80 years, like the JFK files that are 60 years?
You see what Trump said about the JFK files?
No, what?
He was talking to, what's that guy's name? Napolitano.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he said, he goes, why did you break that promise?
Yeah, why?
And he goes, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't tell anybody either.
I didn't
That's
see
what
that.
Trump said. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what Trump said to that judge. If I think there's only one reason to hide it, the CIA could count it.
Yeah, no shit.
There's only one reason, and probably not just the CIA, probably the mob, probably a bunch of people, probably
A lot of motive.
a lot of motives. A lot of people wanted him gone. They did not like him in Dallas. When he came to Dallas, like Dallas was a red state, a red city in a red state. They did not like him. He wasn't liked by everybody. This idea he was liked by everybody, that's now these murders.
Yeah, right. Everybody loves you after you get murdered.
Right. If can you imagine if Obama got murdered, how much they would love him now? Oh my God.
right,
If we
yeah.
looking back, if we were looking at Trump and then Biden, this fucking bumbling old dead man,
Yeah.
we'd look back at the days when our president was like well spoken and we'd be so pumped. It's
This is a
family
silly
man.
place. We live in a silly place.
The silliest place.
Yeah, well, I didn't. That's a crazy thing. I didn't know he said that. Like, I'm gonna go find that clip.
That's what he said. And that doesn't that register? Like it has to be something that's so egregious that you would realize like this would throw the whole country into disarray. We would completely lose trust in what I think is necessary. I think the CIA is necessary. I just think they're out of control. I think the FBI is necessary. I just think you're not supposed to fucking do
Who's
some
in
of
charge,
the shit.
man?
How many people did you have in the fucking ground on January 6th? Tell us that.
No, I can't.
But I think for legitimate crimes and like dangerous fucking terrorists, that shit's important because sleeper cells are fucking real. Like they knew something was going down in Russia, and they tried to tell them. They tried to warn them to stay away from any mass gatherings in the United States. The United States intelligence agencies were aware that something was going down in Russia.
Yeah, I'm sure they were aware. I'm sure
They
they were.
warned them.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm sure that's what that was.
But listen, the point is, that can serve a function. You do need some sort, like this guy from the CIA was on Schultz's podcast.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
With his hair, he's a cool CIA guy.
First, okay, like I said to him.
Right away, I'm like, what's he doing?
Okay, cool. Yeah, he
He's a
looks
cool
like
guy?
he's from old school. He's the Dominican kid from old school, the young one with that same hair and the fucking. But I'm watching him on Lex. I think it was Lex.
Yeah, it was Lexford, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you know, they all tell you this makes fun of how they look for people who are sociopaths. And he goes, they don't like me to say this, but I feel more comfortable around gangsters and something. I'm like, so I'm naive as I say. And I go, well, I know why they don't want you to say that, because it sounds like you're a criminal like a gangster. But that's not why. It's so he looks cool for the kids because they're recruiting. It's recruiting season all the time. It's the, ooh, I'm a cool Grand Theft Auto. Look at my dumb fucking hair. That's what the fuck that is. I don't know what. So, because that thing of warning them, dude, the spin of that story.
Let me get to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So what he was saying was there's sleeper cells in like Chinese communities, and one of the I forget which guy on Schultz's show brought that up, and he asked him, and then he was like, yes, it's true, and they're like, what? He's right, this is real, and that Chinese nationals will embed themselves in these like expat cultures. They're not expats. They're it's a China. What is it called when you have a? He explained it on the podcast. What's it called when you have a culture that is essentially they only speak Chinese. They hang out with only Chinese people. They're in a Chinese village that's inside of a city.
Oh, right.
There's a term for it. But there's a term for that, and he was saying that in that, like we would do that if there was something like that that existed in a foreign country. Of course we would do that. We embed our intelligence agents into that country. It's a responsibility. That's the only way you find out what the fuck is going on. So of course China's doing that.
Oh, you don't think they're coming at us with balloons?
They're doing that too.
I don't believe 2 seconds.
I think they're doing that too. I think they're doing that right. Well, the crazy one.
I don't believe it at all.
Drones. Did you hear about the drones at the bases that were happening for weeks? No. What did I send it to you the other day, Jamie? Do you have it? You want me to send it to you again? This is something Melissa Chen sent me. There is apparently a fucking shit ton of drones that were hanging around this base for weeks. and they didn't know who would. Look at this. Mysterious drones swarmed Langley Air Force Base for weeks, dude. Weeks. The unidentified drones were such an issue that assets were called in from around the government, including a NASA WB-57 high-altitude jet. So they're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. If we're at some weird stage where they start implementing these things that we've been calling UFOs, that maybe at least some of them are controlled by someone that's a human being.
I think many of them are.
Yeah, but if they're that level where they can just like buzz around Air Force bases and no one can catch them and no one can stop them and no one knows who the fuck they are.
First of all, you know, Raytheon is a weapons company that's in Antarctica. They're concerned for science.
Yes, they're just concerned for science. Listen, this is a neutrino detector, which is really important. As someone who loves science and talking to scientists, I support Raytheon's desire to not just create weapons, but also do well for humanity.
Touche, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I support getting young women into STEM fields.
Yes.
I support that, and I caught Rachel Maddow's speaking engagement there about how we need to shovel money into Ukraine, and I accept and believe it. And that's right, Ukraine. What a conspiracy to say that wasn't going to work out. What a crazy conspiracy to say they haven't been winning. They would be better off. They would have more if we didn't do fucking anything. They'd be way better off than they are now, which is fucked.
Dude, I want to do a reality show with Conor McGregor and Zelensky just doing coke together in a mansion.
Zelensky would try to fuck Conor, it's gonna not work out. Zelensky would try to suck his dick. It's gonna be just one little thing, like the Haiti shit, like is like a lot of people say if you bring up anything with Haiti, like, oh, this conspiracy. That's the saddest fucking shit in the world, dude. There's no conspiracy about it. It's all shit. It's fucking crazy. That's what, again, don't tell me how bad Putin is after what you guys did to fucking Haiti the whole time.
When they were so mad at Tucker for going and talking to Putin, making him a human. People were so mad.
Okay,
But shouldn't you, at least, if you want to decipher what they're saying, shouldn't you at least listen to what the enemy, supposed enemy, whatever it is, the leader of this country in Ukraine has to say? Shouldn't you want to listen to what he has to say? Even if what he's saying is a lie, you should be able to have experts analyze what he's saying and say, this is not factual, but this is the true reason why he attacked. The NATO intrusion into the specified areas they had forbidden, that's not true. And here's how we can show.
They don't want that out.
Yeah, but they don't want to hear what he has to say.
okay, so here, I'll be the fucking dipshit from CNN or whatever. Yeah, but a qualified person should middleman this information and do, like, you know how we want Twitter to censor more? Not some jerk like Tucker Carlson. It should be Christiane Amanpour.
Yes.
And then
Someone
it gets
of color.
filtered. Oh, that's a great point.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's a number. Don Lemon should be the one talking to
Yes.
him. And then they should go over it before you see what Putin had to say. Don't give him a platform.
Can you imagine?
Don't platform him.
Could you imagine sending Don Lemon to talk to Putin?
I was thinking about it. I'm into it.
Wonderful.
If Elon's listening,
Could you
Elon.
imagine if Don Lemon could talk to Putin in Russian so he could badger him the way he badgered Elon?
I can't imagine Russian. I can imagine him doing the same interview he did with Elon Musk.
Yes. To Putin, exactly.
And I would love to see that.
Well, they did it over Google Translate, so that they could do it like with them
World War
Samsung phones,
III.
so they could translate it. You know, have you seen those Samsung phones that translate it instantaneously? The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is this fucking amazing new phone that has AI built into it that allows you to translate things in real time. So if you have Galaxy earbuds in and you're listening to someone talking German, it'll translate it into English in your fucking ear in real time. And it also translates on an app where one side of the screen's cut in half, one side of the screen is facing you, the other side is facing me. You speak to me in Farsi. It translates it to English and in writing. And then I speak in English and translates it into Farsi.
Question. Is it better than Google Translate's job of translating other
I
languages?
think it's a little more sophisticated because it's built into the phone, and it's built. It's an AI feature that's built into the operating system. It's like they're the first company, Samsung in this phone in particular, is the first company to not just use AI for photos, because it uses AI for photos as well, but it also uses AI to make like a synopsis of a website. So if you go to a website and you say, give me a summary of what this website is saying, it'll break it down in bullet points for you. Like the web, and it'll do that with your notes. So if you have notes, so you write a bunch of crazy shit in Samsung Notes.
My
you say-
manifesto?
Exactly. Or your set list. And you say, hey, summarize this. It'll summarize it. It'll break it into paragraphs, parts that fit together, and things that make sense.
Oh, I put it
So-
try it down.
My point is, they're getting to a point where Don Lemon really could have a fucking conversation with Putin in real time. If they could do that Russian to English, English to Russian, and as long as there's someone there that stops World War III, as long as there's someone there that no, they misinterpreted that word. That word means this, which means the opposite of that. It's it fucked up. The AI didn't catch it right.
The last translation I tried to read was that's why I bring it up is of course. Now here's my number one conspiracy I'm emotionally attached to is President Macron's wife is a trans woman.
Let's come back and talk about that.
I got pizza. Yeah.
That's my favorite. We'll be right back. Maybe he can become white. Sammy Sosa is becoming white. No one's good.
I thought he'd achieved it.
He's basically more white than I am.
That's I used to have a whole bit about penis whitening about Sammy Sosa.
Penis whitening?
Yeah, they do it by laser
Did they really?
in Thailand. It's like
Lighten your penis?
I hope it's not as big as it used to. Yeah, move over asshole whitening. Yeah,
That seems.
they heard that's the best part of being white, the dick of it, and they were like, they want it. They do it by laser, dude.
Everybody wants a Moby Dick. A great white
That's not it.
White Yeti dick. Imagine if like one of the blackest dick porn stars with those giant 14-inch dicks, one of those guys just decided to whiten the whole dick.
You know what that would be like?
14-inch dick white would be crazy.
If he did that, okay. Yes, it would be. Who's that singer that she lost weight and everybody got really mad at her, like she betrayed
Adele.
Patrick? It would be like the turning on a shell. Like you whiten a 14-inch dick on Black History Month. How dare you? That would be like I bet you'd be a lot of backlash if I'm like, no, I just think it looks better. And
Sammy Sosa thing is wild. He just looked so good when his skin was darker. Like, I don't understand. He looks so weird now.
Yeah. Hey, you know who looks good? Macron's wife.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. So this story, even if Macron's wife,
This is why Candace
as
Owens was fired.
Candace Owens alleges that Macron's wife is somehow or another a biological man. He transitioned at age 30 to become a woman. Even if that's not true, Macron's wife was 39.
No, older.
Or he was 15. I think that's the age.
And he was probably 14, not 15, by the way.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So remember Mary Kay Letourneau and the Hawaiian kid?
Mhm.
Or the Samoan kid?
Yeah.
But I found a picture of them, like, so imagine that story, right? Where
Right.
she went to prison, for rape.
Right.
And then came out and married him, and they had 3 kids and
Right.
got divorced. Imagine if instead of that, they ruled France. That's where it ended up.
Right.
And now,
But that's
yeah.
the less crazy of the story.
Well, it's not, but yes,
But that's the less
optically somehow,
But it's the less crazy because the crazy version of the story is that it's actually a man.
that's the unacceptable part. That's the part where they're gonna sue. How dare you say that our underage fucking
Right.
rape marriage that is the president and first lady of France?
Right.
Don't add crazy shit to this.
Yeah. don't make her trans.
But
You asshole.
this is the part that I love about the clown world Armageddon happening is the priorities are so cocked up in everyone's head because of changing markets, I guess. I don't know what the fuck it is. And the Antarctica beam. The clown beam in Antarctica that has clearly been turned on and never shooting. Dude, that's the first thing when I heard it, I'm like, wait, that's the least batshit part of the story. Is that there's a trans first lady is
But it's crazy because it's been hidden for so long. But the
Right.
most batshit part is evidently true, which is
yeah.
she was 39 and he was 15.
Right?
if we're being
Okay.
fair.
The age
Okay,
changes.
look at this. Okay, here it goes. It was in the after-school drama club of La Cille La Provence that she and Emmanuel Macron first met. She was in charge of the after-school theater club that he attended when he was 15, alongside her daughter Lawrence, who was in his class.
Cool.
Their relationship has attracted controversy as she is the senior by close to 25 years, and Macron described her as a love often clandestine, often hidden, misunderstood by many, before imposing itself.
Oh, that's a very French way to talk about it.
Well, go back to that. Don't throw away. Look how crazy that statement is. A love often clandestine, often hidden, misunderstood by many, before imposing itself. But you were doing the lesson. In 89, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, this is so crazy. In 89, Brigitte Macron, then with her, how do you say her name? Ozier, unsuccessfully ran for the City Council of Truckersheim. It was the only time she ran for office. In 2017, Brigitte Macron played an active role in her husband's presidential campaign. A top advisor was quoted as saying that her presence is essential for him during his campaign. Emmanuel Macron stated upon his winning of the French presidency, his wife would have the role that she always had with him. She will not be hidden.
Not gonna translate in. Yeah, why would you?
Proposed creating an official First Lady title as the spouse of the French president currently holds no official title, coming with their own staff, office, and a personally allocated budget for their activities following Macron's election as president, and his previously outspoken stance against nepotism. A petition against his proposal was gathered more than 275,000 signatures, and the French government announced that Brigitte Macron would not hold the office title of First Lady and would not be allocated an official budget. So they pushed back. So just the real facts of 39, 15, often clandestine, often hidden, but eventually imposing itself. Like what?
She's married with 3 kids and raped a student.
Yeah. And now here's the thing. Did the 3 kids come from her penis, or did the 3 kids come from her vagina? This is what, so if they didn't come from her penis, that means that she gave birth to them, which makes sense. But if they came from her penis, if this is what Candace is saying, who gave birth to those kids?
Look,
If those are her kids,
she was the father of the kids, and the woman. I don't
but
even know
is
the
that,
whole.
where's the mom? So that actually the easiest. Like this is the actual mom. This is the person that you were married to and you had kids with before you became a woman. That should be a person you could find. I have not heard that though.
There's one
So if
picture.
you're saying that
Okay.
she's definitely a man.
No, I'm. Oh,
Oh no, I'm not saying
Oh,
you are, but
oh.
if someone is saying that, I'm not saying you are. Yeah, I know you don't have a dog in this fight. But if someone is saying that Macron is actually a man,
Yeah.
that you have to, like, who, if she has kids, and these are her kids,
Mhm.
so you have to find who had the fucking kids with her.
That's
if You're
right.
saying she's a man.
That's
'Cause
a big
woman,
question.
Where'd the woman go? She vanished? She should still be alive. If Macron's alive, the woman she had kids with probably also alive. The kids know that that's not their mom. What are we doing?
okay. No, look. Those are all valid questions.
Yeah.
But so I can't find the video anymore on YouTube. She had a link to the. This is how we got on this topic. Was there's a link to all the compiled evidence over the years. Okay. And
Well,
it's-
where's the woman that's made the baby?
Well, they were like, "Where's the husband that she had?" They were, but they can't. There's one picture got released. They sued about it, but there were no pictures of her for the first 30 years, except
Right, well, she's 70. There's not a lot of pictures of me, and I'm 56.
from your first 30 years of life.
There's a few, but until cell phones came, well, I was also on television, right? So I was also a comedian. So there's more pictures and photos and videos of me than would be normally with most people. Like, but the pictures of me from the time I was young, there's only like a fucking handful of
You know what? I guess wealthy French people didn't take pictures.
But it's also, it's like a different time. She's 70 years old. Like, they had to do a photograph, like, we stand there.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, there's not a lot of photos.
You know-
and they weren't digitally, if they weren't, like, people say, where's the photos of Michelle Obama pregnant? Like, probably in her fucking photo album. Like,
Right, yeah, like,
why would she put them online?
That's a crazy one to bring up.
But that's another one. That one was like the first ridiculous one,
Yeah.
the Big Mike one, which
Yeah.
led to this Macron one, which seems to have way more legs.
No, the Macron one, yes.
Yeah.
Macron's older.
Okay, I should say in this country. I haven't heard about it. I haven't heard. In France, they've been talking about how long? How many years?
Yeah,
Well, then Big Mike was going on a long time ago too, though. But you said this was going on before Big Mike.
I said it. I did the misinformation.
I think Big Mike was probably first, though. No, wasn't that like? Didn't like? Listen,
I've never heard.
Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a man before she died.
Was that a joke? I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke too, but the way she said it wasn't like joke. She was like, "Walk, oh, come on, everybody knows Michelle Obama's a man." Like, remember that?
Yeah, like the Big Mike surgery for that.
Well, I think she died because she had 1,000 plastic surgeries, but
Yeah, she was going under.
Yeah.
Just sees these big black arms coming over. Big Mike.
bro,
Oh no!
whoever did Madonna's face was working on Joan Rivers first and perfecting
Yeah.
the craft.
The face killer.
The
He got it. Yeah, he'll get you.
We'll go to see if we can find Joan Rivers saying Michelle Obama's a man. The video.
No, I don't, my darling. I was just told it, Mister. I was given a body bag with the wrong name on it. I went through 5 different insurance companies. I met a woman at the gate who will not look at my passport, who will not call Continental, who will not call the health, who will not recheck into their records of safety and so on. No, she was a man.
What? That had nothing to do with that. I know, but that's not it. If you
What
go
is
to
happening?
that's the wrong video. It's absolutely the wrong video.
Why would they
But
label
hold
it?
on, Jamie. There's a video of her and she's
Yeah.
walking into her apartment building. Okay, that's it. This is the one.
First one.
I'm with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
No, Michelle is a trans.
What?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my God.
It's pretty funny how she said it.
Okay, we all know it. So what year was that, Jamie, that she said that? Well, let's see if we can find that.
Well, how soon before she died did you say?
Well,
And Boeing is a terrible airline. It's a terrible company. Zelensky's a coke.
and Israel's committing genocide.
Well, all the you know, all the questions you said right at the top about like, so where's the woman? There's a lot of math of like, for this to work out.
Well, let's ask
But they
this.
make it
This
look
is how we
good.
can find out when. When did she die? Okay, so it's 2014. So it's 2014 that she did that. Where she 2014. So it had to be before 2014 because she was dead at 2014. So 2014 or before, she said Michelle Obama is a man. So this is like 10 years.
Have you ever heard that before her?
I never heard it. No,
I
I didn't even hear her say that until years later after she was dead.
The Obama being gay thing was really shocking because you know that's because back in the day he was a Muslim and not from America, so the idea that like he was secretly gay is so like what like, but you saw I got the guy's book.
You know that Muslims, particularly like in Afghanistan, there's like those clean-shaven boys that they pass around.
Yeah, the
So
dancing boys in Afghanistan, the bells.
They
Yeah.
do gay stuff. So
Right.
what does that mean?
He's a hardcore Muslim.
It's out, man.
But okay,
That guy that Tucker had on his show was so fucking bananas. Have that guy,
Taliban?
the guy that said he sucked Obama's dick on Tucker's show.
Dude,
I took Obama, I took the crack money from him, and I sucked his dick. Yeah, I sucked his
Yeah.
dick. Like, what?
yeah, it was
What are you doing?
pretty hot. He was a young Obama. It sounds like a hot, like, horn of like, I was in town.
Yeah.
I go, you know a guy? They go, yeah, that is a college student. Hi, I'm a young Obama. I'll do whatever, man.
Well, wasn't he like a senator at the time or something like that? What was this guy claiming? Was he a law student? What was he claiming?
It was something funny to laugh at. The only thing that's like a real undisputed thing was that news that came out, because Mike McRae was down here and doesn't get Obama president. He called in and it come out in his biography. This by some liberal college professor. There's like a paperback of it or something where it's letters to his girlfriend who used to be like this white girl in college, I guess.
Yeah.
And all these letters like, I have sex all the time with men in my mind. I'm trying not. You didn't see that news?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did see that.
So this is a funny joke with Craig had as Julian. He goes, "Hey, look, I found a bang girl with pink hair to the art suit. That's what you got to tell him.
Yeah.
You want bang girl in those rings? You got to say, think about gay sex in your head." So I laughed at the time, but then I think I'm like, I would do that. Who the fuck would write that? Was he trying to break up with her? And this is how he tried to let her down before.
I'm really into guys in my head.
Like, take the hint.
Yeah,
But dude, that's a crazy. And then, so here's what happens. Because the thing becomes hard to find, so that's what you said. What I'm saying is, yeah, it's all crazy thing that sounds, but they've done such crazy things to counteract it. Yeah. That it makes you go, wait, there's something. You didn't think anything was there,
Right.
but then the way they have to, like, wait, did she do something? Like,
Right.
You could make it. Tom Cruise, remember when he was sued because people said he was gay? And he made it. You remember that? It made him look
No.
really. He's not gay, though. It made him look really gay. Like, Hulk Hogan, when his wife said he was gay with Bruce Barnes beefcake, Hulk said, "I can't celebrate it." And he was dressed like he's clearly gay. And he goes, "I celebrate it." And they were like, okay. So, like, if you were acting in a way like that, like, you know, there's a real tradition of many rich families that are unaccustomed to, like, anything less than full PBS respect. And so they don't know how to react. And the fact, it's like the old school way of dealing with problems. Definitely said that in the 70s. I didn't even consider that. That's a great point. How do 70-year-olds deal with scandal compared to now? How do you deal with it? Yeah. And it's like the same techniques of covering up a UFO that have to use to cover up their weird thing.
Well, this is, first of all, it's real simple. No matter what, even if you're just a woman, you're a bad guy. Even if you're just a woman.
Well,
So that's one. Number two is very easy to find out if you're a woman. We do a chromosome test.
I think that like you're talking about Dundee, you just grabbed it.
Oh, who knows what's going on down there? But very easy. We can extract some DNA and we can find out if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
Now, if you have
I take less evidence of it.
XY chromosome, you're a fucking guy.
Here we go with the conspiracies. Like, this is your conspiracy talk now.
You could prove that. That would be the best. Like, what Candace Owens tried to do, you think that's what got her fired?
No, I say that as a joke, but it was.
There has to be a pile-on of multiple sort of offenses.
Yes, I think that's what it is. But so pedophiles, just for the record, they don't should. You remember when they tried to put pedophilia in the psychology book of orientation?
Yeah.
And so at the time, I had no idea what like Laura Prison, like these gay for kids, right? That's and your brain thing, she's giving some psychology. Goes, no, because gay would be you would marry, you want to get married and be with the person talk. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing of gay. And orientation, that's it. Orientation is you want to have your like, toothbrush with their toothbrush ultimately. And with pedophiles, once you get older, you don't want it anymore. So if they're still together all this time, that's true love and not pedophilia, but it is rape. Well, I don't know if it is.
It's not pedophilia anymore.
People go, it's France. My girlfriend works France. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
It's France. What? We should examine France. Is that why they give kids wine?
But that's where fucking what's his face went over when they wanted to race the director, Roman Reigns. That's yeah, he went over there and they're like, no, we knew it from the base.
Because they get it.
This is Momo. This is Momo.
The home of close fire.
This is Momo. This is Momo.
You're so nice.
Yeah, it's just like, even if at the end of the day he did marry his teacher who was a woman, it's still bonkers. It's more bonkers than all of them bonkers. And but the really bonkers thing is like if this person has kids and they're a man and they had kids before they transitioned, yeah, that fuck is a woman and have a baby. Yeah, I was laughing before the partner was saying the kids genetics give her. I swear to God, I misunderstood what he was saying. I was like, it's hilarious. But there has to be a woman. There has to be a mom. And then there's the kids. The kids, you have to pull the kids back. Who's your mom? Who's your fucking mom? Where's your mom go? What happened? Okay, that's your mom, definitely? Or we all again? Okay, we're good. We're all Michael Jackson now? It's a mystery who the mom was. Swab for me, ma'am. I just would like to find out for sure. Because I'm moving towards the man. Yeah. I was looking for more so crazy and so bonkers. I got a tight muscle. No, I think it was wrong. No, this is CBD-NG. It's really good stuff. CBD that you put on your muscles and it's like significantly relaxes your muscles. And it's a roll-on, so you can kind of like lean into the muscle. Yeah, you are. I'll try to look up. No, I'm not going to do it. I don't think you should show this. No. Yeah. Even if it's just what it is. Like when show about that, it's like
She said I will stake my reputation and my job.
yeah. My professional reputation.
Oh, Georgie Badru.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
The Brian, I remember the nineties. They were doing like also he said that he was young. And he was really young, like 9 or something. Yeah, and I did my fifth grade. Really? Okay, so that's how I reacted. I was like, come on. I looked up, and sure enough, I remember, I think there was a movie called My Father the Hero, which was a Disney movie at that time. Yeah.
Recircle. In 1978, Parker recorded the performance of the first participation in the race of his participated in all of the scenes.
It was bad, we had too much wine. Raphael. It's just like such. By the way, France is the country that Haiti had to pay reparations for not being free. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Chase is the media. Is that great? Chase the whole
This should get out now.
You would want to.
This is going to be ugly for us. Okay. Let's pull out. Reparation.
Well, France couldn't take out the arbitration because
We're getting bugs.
but there's that looks actually. You look the crazy in the world that news show like that comes up. They're like in LA, having the American Psycho here. It's like, well, we're getting slave restitution just in California. So it's some great people get mad.
I'm just going to down in Boston today.
Another no white party.
Heads of these black churches want $15 billion in reparations from the white churches to the black churches.
And they're all going, yes.
It should be paid as follows. Either $5 billion first from the aliens and then another $5 billion. And like, look at it mapped out. Demanding $15 billion each white church. What's the angle, guys? What you're talking about?
But all that, it's all like nonsense. It's to get you to fucking give a shit. Every place for the reparation, maybe I think people fight about that. Not that. That's absolutely fabricated. Yeah. When people talk about reparations, they talk about like, first of all, you think that that would be the real tragedy of our government spending would be on that? You gave like $300 billion probably to Ukraine. So for that amount of money, not only could you pay slave reparations to the wrong people, they could be half people that just got here and nothing to do with it. You have enough left over to pay all the white people that feel bad about reparations. They can have the reparations. And you have plenty of money for other shit. And like, so every time somebody argues about, oh, what is the world? You give all my money to go kill people. You can have a handling of moron shit here for years and they didn't do that. I feel like these idiots, even like, well, we can't kill forever. They had a okay, so, like, I know a video went around, but I was listening to that autistic man talking about it. It was an act of how they looked at it. Yeah. So, you know, if you go on the rabbit hole shit of all this stuff, you know, like, you know, there's no idea. So, you know, who's the guy, Jack Parsons, that was the father of rocketry in the military, or something they call him, and this guy blew up from fulminate Mercury. L. Ron Hubbard Slater's house, and he was like, they're kind of bringing back Babylon, Rising, Babylon spelled wrong, by the way, which is that Aleister Crowley, Helena kind of bullshit. And it makes me laugh so much in all the history of rockets, okay, one part of rocket science is all the things done by the right? One part of it is L. Ron Hubbard's eyes. Also, rocketry, this country's connected to Nazis and Satan. Yeah, well, you think it's evil, jerk off and look at the eyes all that way. But it makes me laugh. So it's all this weird magical shit. Yeah. So it's all this weird magical shit, and it's so close to. So now they talk about they don't go. It's weird debate. Like I don't think it's ETs. It's extra-dimensional something. And there's a lot of religious kind of channels that are like obviously these are the Nephilim from the Bible. All that bullshit. And I don't think that. See that thing, that boom, is actually that video game? It's not video. No, it's not. It doesn't match up. But it does match up. Some parts of it with some parts of the ball. But honestly, if you're going, like, there's a video that breaks down how it matches up. Not only does it match up the edges, like match up precise at certain points. It looks like an altered version of that image. It's like a stock footage of some kind of explosion. Yeah, you're doing it through filters and you're adjusting the way the image looks. But a visual effects guy went over and he explained multiple reasons why. Well, it's a good point. Well, you should know that a visual effects guy, expert, also went over if CNN just colored your face. And he said that he did it. You think I'm true? Just on CNN. Here's the point. You can't trust that now. Like, if you do you personally, and then you're going to go, well, it's like, I won't say I know or don't know on a thing, but the way I look at it, there's a lot of questions around the table. It's not solved. What is this? And there's so many put that out as pieces of something. The government to create a more deepest level more of the popular consciousness for no reason other than to like hide what the nicer shit that flies. That's insane. That's fucking like hiding the white thing. And you're president of France. It's that level insane. Sort of. But why would you trust anything about the country that benefits sex? Well, because it's
military secrets, and they've always hidden military secrets.
Yeah.
They hid all the military secrets about the stealth bombers. They
Yeah.
hid a bunch of military.
And you know what? A lot of good has come out of that.
They hid the actual existence of Area 51.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Why would I? So now that I know they're lying every fucking time, and then if I'm lucky, in 20 years I'll be allowed to know, or the president will go, I looked it over and you wouldn't put it out there either. I think I would put it out there, but no, I wouldn't. But that's the thing, like, I can remember, it's on my book, the illusion is secrets. As a podcast, whatever's in there is how sick of the country is. It's so sick that it's actual aliens that are visiting us and they're using human beings as like, search for souls. And I would buy into the stories of like, remember Men in Black did this, the Witness, and the opener? Okay, so the narration with Tommy Lee Waitman, we're the ones that handle the things. You can live your stupid fucking moron peasant life. Right? Thanks, guys. Thanks. It takes a great team to handle the information. Only someone that we tested as great as Will Smith can even handle the knowledge of knowing the truth. And he's helping you out by keeping it straight. Like, what's the message of the fucking movie? All the movies, the message is, yeah, we need to have these people that lie because it's too big of a truth. Yeah, it's a no, you need to lie, motherfucker. You need to, for your power thing to work, you need to lie. So no, they don't have to lie. It's always bullshit. They don't have to lie. The only thing they have to lie about is they want to keep the business going. And it's never been for your good that they lie. It's for the good of the people who fucked up before so they don't get in trouble. Right. And they say it to you like it's your fucking problem. Damn, Kurt, you sound like an old man on the porch. That was my goal in life. I embrace it. Mad about the government. Yeah. No, I'm not mad about it. I'm mad about people not being knowing about it.
One of two things is real. Either it is ours, and they're awesome at keeping secrets, much to our dismay, or it's someone else from another planet, and they're also awesome at keeping secrets, which is even kind of crazy. Both things are pretty crazy. If they can really keep under wraps the fact that we've been visited forever by extraterrestrial beings, that's pretty nuts. And if it's not, then it's just a con story that they're running to try to mask some sort of a secret propulsion program that's been going on since the 1980s. That's
So let me ask you this. Think of the stunning amount of time they've been able to keep this secret that maybe women don't have dicks. The things that they keep secret are so insane. Like, of course they keep a secret. You know how you keep a secret? Roy Cohn, the great Roy Cohn showed us how to keep a secret. The three can keep a secret if two are dead. The old saying. No, three can keep a secret if each of the three guys agrees to stick his dick into something he shouldn't stick it in on camera, and they each have that blackmail on each other, and they keep all kinds of secrets for a very long time.
how you're talking. So what do we do to make sure that people keep secrets? We have them suck a dick with a skull mask on.
Frat
Put it in a
hazing,
tutu. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
dude, why do frats, the things you've heard about, of like Ookie Cookie or all that shit, Big J do all the names of those. And you're like, wait, why did you have to do that to join? I went to an art school, they didn't have frats, but, oh, I know why. It's trickled down from the upper classes of weird shit to your ass to Oxford. That's how you get the president. Yeah, no shit.
No, president doesn't have a fucking footage being sucked in dick with a clown mask on.
I won't accept it.
Then you're never going to be able to trust that guy.
What if he goes rogue? What if he goes JFK? Yeah. What if he crumbles under the weight of the hideous things he wears? He gets the bright idea, snitching. I will bring snitching like that. What's great about right now isn't this I'm not going to have it, even though it's like Tuesday, every single thing, like, oh, so nothing I've ever heard. Subject, I love watching every level of looks at something and said, it's grumbling enough employees. Yeah, fuck it, I'm saying it, I don't care. So now, the P. Diddy thing, which, like, for 2 years, I would tell people it's weird. I mean, it's weird, but it's also hilarious that it was like a big secret that P. Diddy would make fun of these guys suck his dick and do weird shit. Oh, do you think the government does it? Well, P. Diddy does it. Okay.
By federal agents.
So the conspiracies of P. Diddy above, so below, like magical shit that rocket scientists say when they jerk off and they put it up. What? I mean, some people know, as above, hey, ask nothing, but as above, so below, you know that saying? I want to write a magic book called As the Carpet Served the Place by Curtis. That's vaginas with all my occult knowledge that I picked up and looking at UFOs. Like, these things are like reflections all the way up. So, like, at every level of society, there's something to like Lisa Gordon went down. His empire, yeah, giving out Canadian top hats and chicks.
At every level.
I want to joke about it on stage that people like, you know, nobody follows all the same things anymore, so it's hard to, things I want to make references about. There's like no common culture anymore, like we all saw this. So then, burn time explaining the first part of the story. And with Vince McMahon being, I'll ask, does anybody know, like people that know, what he did? Or what explained what he did? I only came out because he wanted to pay it for money. If you were paid $3 million to do all perfect things, and you're like, yeah, I'll do that, then I'll be like, no, that's not his fault. But this fucker didn't want to help because he has a history of fucking people on shit. And all he had to do was pay what he agreed to, and she's a disgruntled employee, and good for her. Because I've got shit on her. They don't say what position on it. I hope it's Eiffel Tower and not a blowjob business guy. And she wants one with, I'm guessing, Johnny Lee Howard. And then so they're both accepting this girl. This man gets up, shits on his head, and then he goes, I'm gonna get you guys finish up, I'm gonna get a shower. This is what's written in there. You go, he definitely says definitely. Okay? Yeah, we'll finish up, man. I think we're all done here, man. I think we're done.
And should we say, he's an elderly gentleman involved in rigorous activities and often practices controlled bowels. There's a reason why Depends is associated with old people. Well, why is this lawyer? I would say it's a wonderful man expressed anyway. Is that bad guy? Well, I don't sure not that. Joe, that's a good thing. So, I'm in the shower, you guys did it yourself. Right there is when I break with the idea that he just lost control. Well, you want to have the party deal because he can control his powers. He's very considerate of it. Oh, guys finish up. I'm in the shower. I'm sorry. Yeah, you get a shower. The party. You go get a 30-minute shower, Vince. I'll sit here with this chick.
Someone else's shit on their hair while you're having sex.
No, it's a party foul, for sure.
This guy's shit? Like,
Yeah,
literally where your face is?
But I'll finish up. Well, hey, Vince, you want to finish up? You with the the Stone Cold Steamer that you have? Oh, maybe we'll just chat about nicknames
There's nothing
for this
crazy
depraved act that you just did.
than the depravity of shitting on people. With feces, okay, this is it.
Oh
One
my
example of
God.
man's extreme depravity. May 9, 2020, defecated on Miss Grant during a threesome and then commanded her to continue pleasuring his friend with feces in her hair running down her back. All McMahon went to the bathroom.
Wait, I didn't see this part. Wait, I didn't see this part. Upon his return from the bathroom, McMahon and his friend actively resumed the. She didn't get in and hose off? You showered and went back to start the girl who's heading back to shit on.
Oh.
Why get shower?
She didn't shower?
He got showered and she stayed with box out with his clothes
I
around
also
her.
like how they described the stage film. It's built. I mean, is this like a legal document? Isn't it a legal term? Like it's real?
He gave her a Polish car wash and goes to compete himself.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, that was he didn't say.
Yeah.
Because French employees have been coming out years ago on the whole mafia has a podcast now, by the way. You might have seen. Everybody who's and people will get invested in it. It's so much better than that. And they have rivalries. And there's like people that are like, oh, well, I heard he's a snitch. But they're now, like, if you have Stockholm Syndrome, good. That's why we have this big show. The fuck I hope everyone snitches What the fuck are you talking about? So I get criminals. He has a right to say as a fucking criminal, don't snitch. You, the citizen of the good country. You're supposed to, Edward Snowden's not supposed to be hiding out in Russia with the bad guy. He's the guy that did the right thing, right? No, some of us, we feel snitches. What is it? Let's talk more about it. So, the new game you play with Jaguar Wright. That's where get a man something to do. I said a man that does not want to do that. Yeah, that's a real, it's like a affirmation. It's like a real power affirmation to somebody. But we know that people can get crazy enough to shit up. That's true. I mean, that's all that you buy porta potty, and that's what Instagram models do. For 50 grand a pop.
We know birds are crazy enough to try to get straight back to fucking good. We've all heard that.
That's pretty white. I think I'm gonna ask you if I want to suck a dick. It's like the straight stuff, dude. No. No one hanging around being broke. No one, I mean, just like, I was like in the future, basically they used to do. Yeah.
Crazy away. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do like hard on, like hugging you from behind.
Yeah, for like 30 grand to get somebody, in the future, you're gonna pay that money. You can raise it, you're gonna send it to the club. So they can talk you down to just being there.
Right.
I heard he's like viper, he has a persona. He's telling me he's gay. And he's a cat. And he wants a litter box. He wanted a little, the covering up of the litter box thing. Do you see that principle at play of like, don't even talk about it?
Yeah.
Because it's the same principle as if you talk about Jon Snow putting a medal on a Nazi or Canada applauding a real Nazi. You know, Putin, the bad man. So cover up the fact that the Canadian House of Commons gave a standing ovation to a real World War II Nazi. What? By the way, why is he hiding out in Canada? That's been allowed? Oh, not
Isn't
getting
it funny, like
Yeah.
the way people realize what he was saying?
So he's saying, he fought Russia. My girlfriend went to Jacksonville Public Schools, and she picked it up. She's the one who said something first. Would that mean that with the Nazis? We all learned that just like from Call of Duty games just a few years, like not that long ago.
That fighting against the Russians, you can say it as a positive thing now, even if you did it while you were a Nazi.
You could say it like the communist thing. They act like the Soviet. If you say this, anyone who's smart to they go, Putin wants to rebuild the Soviet Empire. Now, if you just some joke no say that to me, then you get to know nothing. That's your right as American. Put a charge, say that. You could fucking shit. But he wants to rebuild it. You're a fucking either a liar or you're a fucking chump. You're probably like a racist chump like Chris Polo or some shit. But that's Domino theory. You're still selling Domino to these people? Vietnam, that thing that you lost. And they're doing great. Communism's never worked. Well, Vietnam won, and also it's a great vacation spot. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't believe in communism, okay? I thought it doesn't work. So why are you spending everybody's money to go make a thing that doesn't work, not work? That's a waste to it. That's our entire first act. Now it's Russia. We want to weaken Russia. A friend of mine said this to me. He's a comic. He says that we're weakening Russia. Oh, the guy with the hair that you brought up, the CIA guy, who's listing the reasons he's great. We have old weapons we want to use them. We get to use those on the battlefield and see how it'll be for a coming war with China, of course. They want to fight Lindsey Graham. Miss Lindsey Graham, like, they want to fight the last man. Oh my.
That's a great impression.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, they want to. It's the best money we ever spent.
There's something really crazy about watching that guy
War
drum,
Trump,
beat the drums of war.
and he's been doing it my whole life.
But when he says it like in an aggressive way, when he makes statements in an aggressive way, it's like very,
He's a good actor.
but it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre to like listen to his OS.
Yeah, well, that's a different. It's just a gentleman down here. It's not any, it doesn't mean anything. You don't have to do a conspiracy theory about me.
We are going to make them count.
Now they will fight to the last man. Okay, so this
How
is
is that inspiring?
Joe. You just said the thing. So they're saying it's like You see, he's going like, this is a great idea. So we want Russia. They're our enemy. So we got these crash test dummies that we're going to just grind them into hamburgers. Is that good? And use our old weapons we weren't using in trading jobs. Is that good? No, that's despicable. That's lower than any shit I've ever heard about another country. That we want to have a war with another country. We're not secret, openly bragging about it. We're going to get these other people who can't win, and they're not winning, by the way, and just kill off most of them. Well, all the able-bodied people, average age 50 of their soldiers. The average age of the soldiers is 50. You aware of that? Yeah.
How many soldiers have died?
I don't know for sure, but it's at least 500,000 between people that can never do anything with them. That just injured, the wounds and shit. The numbers they tell you are always lie. They're the same shit they did with Iraq and Afghanistan. No, it's working. You just got to keep putting a little more money into it, like a drug. You just got to keep putting more money into it. Able-bodied, yeah. Well, the deaths are probably not high. You have the per liter's wage method, the numbers they give you.
Right.
So it tells you 50,000, probably 100,000.
Right.
So you got to look at it like that because everything's a fucking lie. The people that you're supposed to do stuff. So now, yes, now, our first wife, our main wife, Indian with us. So our side piece, Ukraine, and kind of, it's getting weird now to do that. But he's gonna say he's pregnant. That's his last move. But America, huge. I'm pregnant, yours. That's all he's got left. Here's the order of nations that have had. You haven't heard this? Did you see a video of the sad old men that look older than me?
I'm realizing now that there's something about it. And there was also, they were talking about how they stop people from trying to escape.
There's a $300 rubber mask that looks like from the Live that you can get to look old so they don't grab you and put you in this fucking van. And they're taking everybody, by the way. Women, they're putting in force. So they've lost. So they lost. That's the truth. Why don't we just kill another fucking amount of them until, by the way, Russia's not weak. They're doing better. I feel like Wolf Blitzer. But you made Russia weak, right? Like, we can't confirm that. When Tucker went there and showed the subway, this is what Jon Stewart, he said something great, like on Colbert show, about clearly COVID came from a lab. We work with them again, by the way. And then he fucking does this, he goes, well, that's the price of freedom. You have the National Guard in your subway, it looks like shit, and you're saying, oh, look, we're so free here. That's why our subway, that's why nothing is running correctly. He's smarter than that dude. That's fucking shit.
Well, it's also, it's echo chamber thinking, and you find ways to support what the echo chamber has sort of established.
Stop doing that. You don't have to fight nobody. You don't have to march. Just stop doing that, everybody, at once. It'll end the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a real problem, and it's also a problem that's being used to manipulate people. Well, one way or another. They'll use that.
Yeah.
They manipulate it, use that.
Just comment. A lot of times I'll look at some like a kooky conspiracy thing like that. I was reading about what is it, Monarch, the one that's like after Ultra, and it makes me laugh because the thing is like the scientists have kids in these cages and they shock one cage and they go, I love you, and they don't shock one. They go, I love you not, and shock the other one, and make them. It's like a mind control conspiracy. But while I'm reading it, I was laughing because it just sounded like a metaphor for our actual entire society. Like, I don't know if that shit's real. I'm sure it could be, but I don't know. But when you read it, it sounds like a metaphor for all of society. Like, then Cat Williams talking about the homeless people, seeing all the cards, cards with money. Yeah. That's a great point you made. Like, homeless people laying on the ground, watching people that aren't from here getting, that sums it up right there, It really is like at every level, there's this fucking, just like a scam, and you're supposed to buy into everybody.
Everybody. The homeless people thing is a good example. Just for the rest of that whole fucking thing they're trying to do with Eric Adams in New York. That whole you get an ATM card, a certain amount of money.
You want to know that? them they're spending more giving them money before this. The card is just being streamlined and I'm cheaper in it. You were giving them more money before this. And that's who debunking. How much do they get? Look, you know, maybe enough to be out of all the family interest, but that's who it's just enough to buy food and diapers and things that, you know, people from here need. They don't have to.
That seems so insane.
Did I move to Alaska
People from
on oil
Maui
money?
got $700 of one time. The people in Hawaii.
You know what kids are missing still? Did they ever find those missing kids? The thousands of them? Or did Oprah find a buyer? Yeah, they didn't do nothing for them people. They're going to baffle they don't vote for Biden. They're going to baffle.
$10,000 checks. And if you blend out, that's $700.
Look at that, that's what happened.
That's right there. Like, this is the world that we live in. This is how upside down it is. And people that want to pretend that anything makes sense, whether it's on the left or the right, people that want to pretend that everything makes sense, you're all out of the budget. The family report is expected to receive up to $350 per week on the program, which lasts 6 weeks, city officials said. The program would begin with 10 families on Monday, expanding to about 115 families, or roughly 450 people over the next week. Wasn't there something about keeping $10,000 in an account on an ATM card? See what that was about. I'll bet you the number he was connected somehow. The mayor was supposedly connected somehow to it.
It's New York. Everything's corrupt at every level. It's not a little bit. It's the whole thing. Well, I like that. Yeah, one more thing. One more thing? Yeah, it's about Haiti. No, Danny Shaw, you should look up if you want to know. It's like really upsetting, and because now what I'm seeing on the channels that I like, where they're under conservative, they're doing all these Haitians that come in. It's like the reason all these people are like this, but it's intentional. It's 100% intentional. And the corporations want to flood. We didn't against it. The military soldiers. We've done this many times. Yeah, you saw it in New York, right? Yeah. Okay. They want it's all military age men being brought in to completely
Well, you eliminate legitimate patriotism. Because if you got people that come from other countries, then you arm them. People that were here originally.
Dick Durbin saying on C-SPAN. That's what we're doing.
It's on house number, but I don't know where they get the.
Oh, this is up to.
It would give migrants up to $10,000.